Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Transatlantic Call-In Show, the show where you can call in and talk to real-life trans people. Today we have a trans man and a trans woman, so we've got the two sides of the spectrum here. And I am your host today, student Dr. Ben, and with me we have...
Oh, Josie Caballero, spelled Caballero. I'm looking at my name on the screen there.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all fun to pick on Jimmy a little bit.
Oh, we have to. We have to pick on Jimmy at least once an episode. And I know you all were hoping to see Arden here today. I am not Arden. I am way too ugly to be Arden. But send her some love because she had a pet emergency, which you can find out more from Twitter. I don't want to explain all of her business to the whole world, but show her some love. She needed the day off, so I'm filling in. But it's going to be a fabulous show. I'm very excited to be here with Josie, and we have a lot of fun calls already in the queue. But first of all, a couple announcements. First of all, I want to thank Ilya for call screening today. They're doing a great job getting all these calls ready to go for us. And also, we're doing a fun thing for the Line channel. We're trying to hit a goal to get a certain number of patrons, and we have 100 more to go before Jimmy is going to shave his head and wear a goatee and cosplay like Matt Dillahunty for about a week or so. So if you want to see Jimmy bald with a goatee, and I've seen pictures of Jimmy bald, and it's something you got to see for yourself. I can't explain it to any of you. You're gonna have to find out. And if you want to find out, go sign up for the patron. You can become a patron at patreon.com/calltheline, and that is how you can make that happen. Also, we are doing super chats at the end of this episode. So if you submit a super chat of $5 or more, we will read it out loud, and you can vote for either Team Venus or Team Josie. And I don't know what the competition is today. We'll figure out something, but we need 25 votes at least for one of us to do a punishment. So if you want to see that happen, get your super chats in as well. But how have you been doing this week, Josie?
I have been doing really well. I know a lot of the viewers knew that I was going out for my gender affirming surgery down below, and I am now 11 weeks post of that, and so I can bounce in my chair. That's exciting. And the little things. But it's been really great. I could not ask for a better recovery so far, and I'm back to work. And, it's been really good, especially with this new legislative cycle that is coming through. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I also wanted to announce to viewers too, because I'm sure a lot of you knew that I run the U.S. Trans Survey. I'm the director of that. Mm-hmm. And I am so happy to report that we had a historic number of people to take the survey. And I'll just go ahead and say it, over 100,000 folks. That's not the final number. And it's also not. I love being a little ambiguous about it. It's like, what is the number? What is the number? It's going to be shocking. I'm so excited for the work that our community did to make this a community-led survey by trans people for trans people, and it's great. And I can't wait to share once we get the actual solid data analyzed and stuff like that. So good job if you took the survey. And there's always next time in 5 to 7 years.
Is there anything, because obviously a lot of us have been waiting to kind of hear about the survey and all the details that you would know that none of us really get to know by this point. But do you have any thoughts on the preliminary data so far? Anything that we can be encouraged about or hesitant about? What I mean,
Yeah.
it,
I'll share the fun stuff, right?
okay.
So I can't really share a lot of the big stuff yet because we're still analyzing the data and really, you don't want to share things, you don't want to let things out too soon. But I will say some of the really interesting stuff, for example, about half of the trans community is non-binary. I thought that was really, really interesting. So that's awesome, right? So there was very close parity between trans men and trans women. That's kind of cool too. That hasn't happened before. And we also were able to get trans elders at a higher rate than we've ever been able to get, which is, I mean, phenomenal. This is groundbreaking stuff that we're getting there. We got 17 to 18-year-olds. We were able to get such a high value of those respondents. But I will say one thing that's pretty clear. As a community, we're pretty gay. About 4% of the survey identified as straight. I thought that was a fun number to think about. It kind of debunks the myth that we transition because we don't want to be gay people. I thought that was really interesting to see that. And, we were able to get 3% of the survey was immigrants, which was super great. So these aren't final numbers, but I'm just saying, like, it's just been so powerful on what we were able to be able to receive. We got more active duty folks this time as well, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I wish I could share more. I know I'm just kind of like teasing, but we're going to be releasing a lot of information later this year, toward the end of the year, and yeah, we're going to be really excited about the stuff that we're able to glean off of these results. And yeah, I wish I could share more, but I hope that
Yeah.
gets you a little tantillation
How do you
to get in
think
there.
how do you think this survey is going to impact the entire spectrum of the trans conversation in the future?
Yeah. So one of the things that's really going to affect is that we have the largest data set that is going to exist on trans people across the United States. We were able to get solid numbers across every corner of the United States, including Puerto Rico, American Samoa, and we were able to really get all of those numbers. And what this is going to do is going to really create more preponderance of evidence, right, with quantitative data to really show and prove that we are doing better after we get our gender affirming care or gender affirming surgeries, or when we have people affirm us in our lives. We're going to have so much data to really back up all of the arguments and all of the things that we've already proven. It's going to just add more and a strong foundational baseline for other researchers, trans researchers, to be able to glean that data and say, hey, why is this the thing that is happening with, like, Hispanic, Latina trans women, right? What's going on there? And you're going to be able to then ask better questions because you're going to be able to benchmark off of the populations that we were able to connect with for the U.S. Trans Survey. So it's really going to strengthen the research that is already coming out because now we have such a strong demographic survey. It's one of the reasons why we kind of nickname the U.S. Trans Survey as a trans census, because if you know anything about research, researchers love to have strong baselines that they can compare data to let them make stronger conclusions on the data. So I'm really excited about the strength of the studies that are going to come out after the survey is out and ready for publishing.
Yeah, well, that's really encouraging. Just knowing all of the other kind of garbage that has been going on these past few days and few weeks within legislation. But we do have a couple polls. I think we can get to the first one. The first one we probably won't spend too much time on because neither one of us is a European.
That's true.
But we might get to share some more of our thoughts on these. So the poll from last time was the UK recently said that they would overrule the Scottish government for the first time because they tried to pass a minor trans rights improvement. What was your reaction? 20% said that they were shocked and didn't see it coming. 41% said, good, let trans people break up the UK. 28% said, scared, what will they do next? And 12% said, other, and left a comment. So what are your thoughts on this, Josie?
So I'm kind of in the good let trans people break up the UK. I know that it hurts the UK citizens a lot economically if the Scottish government were to get their own independence and join the EU, which I'm sure they would be happy to do. Brexit has devastated the economy. And we already had a Scottish government vote referendum that was extremely close but to see how the UK in the conservative world, even over there, is using cultural war issues to do strong constitutional crisis things now is really indicative of where we are as a culture, not only in the United States but across the world. And this is going to have to wake up people. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Is that this may be a wake up call? That these culture war issues are not just like fringe issues. Oh, the green M&M is great, but it's actually like oh, it's going to affect our economy. It's going to affect our borders. It's going to fundamentally change society as a whole because people are just being ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page, and I think yeah, they need to, like Scotland needs to keep fighting this, and I think the rest of the UK is like they're not on the same page, and maybe they do need some of those consequences to end up being on the same page, which is very unfortunate again for all of the people in the UK that would be affected. For the trans people in England, this might have some consequences for them, and I hate to see that. But also, I think it will benefit the Scottish trans people, and we'll see what happens with it. I don't have a whole lot to say about what's going on in the UK. I don't know if Katie was on the week that we did this, but Katie would probably have a lot more to say on this
Yeah.
issue, just because she's in the middle of this. But
Yeah, and especially knowing the constitutional ramifications and what this means for future governance, like what precedence is the UK about to set, is also a very scary prospect, and I wish I knew more about.
mhm. So this week's poll, we'll see if we get some arguments on this one. But Mark Hamill recently caught heat for liking a J.K. Rowling tweet. After trans folks and activists lambasted him for it, he clarified that it was another mistake. Was the pushback on him justified? And your answer choices are yes, he has a massive platform and must be responsible. Maybe, but there are far more important battles. No, unjustified waste of time. And lastly, I haven't heard about this. So again, what are your thoughts before I jump in on this?
It's hard. It's like one of those things where it's like you don't want to see more people go down this path. He put out an apology. I really didn't like the apology. So I'm mixed, and I don't want to say too much to skew the poll any one way or another. So I'm mixed. I don't even know how I'm going to vote yet.
Yeah, I have some mixed feelings on this one as well because like he did the like and then people got mad at him and then he made the apology and yeah, it's questionable about whether or not this was a sincere apology or if he was just trying to be friends with everybody in the room. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know his exact intentions. He did say in his follow-up tweet that he supports everybody regardless of gender, and that this was about uh, seeing people feel empowered about things that they say. And really wasn't clear either if it was an
Yeah.
accidental like of J.K. Rowling or if he was talking about India Willoughby. Or I don't. It really wasn't clear. And you'd think maybe if his apology was more sincere, he would specify who his support was toward. And we didn't quite see that. It was very vague. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think he would probably know because like J.K. Rowling is a massively popular public figure. You'd think that he'd
Yeah.
be up to date on the things that she's been tweeting. Like, uh, it's not easy to avoid her on Twitter. She's a massive presence. So I think he
Yeah,
probably
and
knew.
He
So
probably knew, or like he just didn't know that Willoughby was trans, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can't be more woman than another woman." Like, you know what I mean? You know, it's kind of like I don't
yeah,
even know. You know, he's probably like, "Wait, is this person trans?" But it's like if it's J.K. Rowling retweeted, it's probably a trans person if it's not nice, right? So I agree, and it's really one of those hard things of like, you should have unliked it immediately and just said, "Hey, I don't stand with this, you know, narrative that trans women aren't allowed in, you know, women's spaces generally." He could have said that, but he didn't. So, and he has press people
yeah,
and people he probably consulted with, and that's what he came up with. There is a little fragment in his mind of something, but that's all an assumption. That's why I'm torn on it.
yeah,
Because I'm
yeah. I'm
biased.
curious to see.
Yeah. I'm very biased. It's like, oh yeah, you should have known better. But like normies and like you know, people who are cis, sometimes they don't even
Right,
know how to even interact. They
right,
don't
and
even
they don't
understand.
always know what the actual like trans argument is behind this. They don't often follow the trans pages on Twitter, so he might not know who India is. There's a lot of things he might not have known, and maybe this is a lesson if he is being sincere. Maybe this is a lesson in vetting the things that you like before you share anything about them, because that's
Yeah,
an important skill for everyone to have. But um,
yeah.
hopefully it was just a misunderstanding. I'm hoping that I can give him the benefit of the doubt, but again, we don't know.
We don't know.
And with that, we have full lines. So you ready to take some calls?
I can't wait. It's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, yeah. This is a fun part of the show, and
Yeah.
let's go with Ruby from Washington. You are on the line. What would you like to talk about today?
Oh my God. Okay, so now I'm first. Hi, Dr. Ben.
Yeah, you're
So
first.
anyway, I've been messaging you, so thank you so much. You're so helpful.
Oh, I didn't know it was you. I think maybe you're under a different name on Twitter because I didn't recognize the name.
Hey Ruby, real quick,
Oh,
before we get started, can you move your mic a little bit away from your face? Maybe turn it away a little bit,
I'm
and then make sure there's
yeah,
no
I'm
the show's not on in the background or anything because we were getting some
yeah,
echoes.
I am so sorry because all right, I talk loud.
No worries.
I get that.
All right.
I talk
Yeah.
loud too. I have to like push the mic away before the show.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah. So I yeah. No, I wanted to talk because like all right, so I'm out in Yakima, the conservative part of Washington, and like
Mhm.
trans people, there's from my point of view, there's like a huge pocket of trans people here, and no one decided to start a support group, and I ended up just doing it because even though I'm kind of a baby trans, I everyone looks at me as like I got my shit together. So I'm like, I want to get information from you guys. Like, what should we be concentrating on? And like I'm scared to death of this year because I'm like making an exit plan just in case, because a lot of this is scary. I know I haven't received a lot of hate just for dint of my genetic lottery win. So for Dr. Ben, I know you've met Objectively Dan. I'm probably an inch taller than he is. So I get the idea.
Okay.
I'll probably never pass, even though I'm male failing now. So what do you guys see as like the best course of action to really like bring awareness and help people?
Absolutely. And it's a
Or
good
that should be-
question, right? Because no, it's a great question. And, it's one of those things that I think we all kind of like think about, like, what is our best mode of action? And a lot of times it takes a little bit of like going to nonprofits that you really care about. So you're getting a little bit of an echo. If you could, I don't know if you need to turn off or pause the YouTube. Sorry. Okay.
hold on.
Anyways, okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Is that better?
That's better. Thank you.
That sounds way better.
Awesome.
Way better.
That sounds way better. I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. When I look at it, is like there's organizations that are doing a lot of work, right? So there's like, I always say it's like a tier system of what your action wants to be, right? There's national orgs, there's state orgs, there's local orgs, and really it's like looking at what's around you and where your impact wants to be, right? So if you are wanting to do more policy related things that are like national, go to organizations like the National Center for Transgender Equality, Equality Federation, and other, Victory Fund. That's another political organization, is LGBTQ plus. So those are some of the things that you can actually start thinking about, because there's a lot of things that are about to happen, especially in 2024. Like we're going to be, I know that, I'm starting a voting while trans program, where basically we're teaching people how to register to vote, voter safety, because you got to think, like, out of the millions of trans people across the United States, if all those trans people voted respectively, that's 1 million extra voters. And when these presidential elections go by, you can see they're super close, right? So trans people can actually be the margin of victory. So those are a few things that you can think about. And there's also a lot of direct service work too, right? So like the local stuff, like different queer organizations that may have community centers, see if they need direct funds, if they need donations for blankets, things like that for homeless youth. Those are the type of things that you can also look. So I know I just spit a lot of information at you, but really start, plugging in to a lot of the community networks that you think you would be interested in, right? And I think that's the first step. Because I kind of look at state ledge a lot because it's kind of my job, right? There's already 174 bills across the country that have already been passed this year. Right. So there's a lot of lobbying work that needs to be done, and national nonprofits that are trans specific are looking for people that are ready to start making phone calls to legislation, writing letters, going and doing speaking engagements and things like that too. So it's really all of your comfort level, right? You don't need to be in front. You can always help at the bottom. It doesn't matter. We all need help at all levels.
Okay. Absolutely. And along with that, I know Washington, for the most part, is doing pretty well on a state level. But let's say if something were to happen to where somebody slid some legislation through at the state or even like county or city level, and you were able to go and testify. Like that's a way, just for you and for everybody else in the audience, a way that you individually could help make a difference if you feel comfortable sharing your story and sharing kind of why you care about these issues. That is a great way to get involved. I know especially people in states like Arkansas, North Dakota, a lot of these states that are being affected right now, we desperately need people to be testifying at these state level things. So that's one way, but not everybody is okay with getting up and speaking in front of people. And some people might not want to do that. And again, you can pitch in at smaller levels, get involved with those organizations, but also having just a community where people can be safe and get to know each other. Even we have these online spaces, like this Transatlantic Call-In show isn't necessarily a politically involved organization, but we have a community here. We have people that are getting to know each other. We're empowering each other. We're helping each other figure out what we can do on our own side. So like even those small things of having a community, having even like movie nights with each other, building up camaraderie, those are important as well. Because I know I feel at times like I'm very alone and isolated. I know many people here feel alone and isolated. And that's something I think, especially when all of this stuff is going down and we're feeling like there isn't any hope, we need somebody some kind of community to kind of help us stay out of being so isolated. So even the little things are helpful. Do you have any thoughts about what I said or what Josie said?
Well, I love the whole thing with the like you said, the community thing, because that's where we started from. We made a Facebook page, then we made a Discord, and we're just starting with just like monthly meet and greet, just trying to, and we all pretty much right now know each other, but we're trying to like reach out to more, to get more people to be interactive, because we bump into different people, and it's like, and they seem so alone, and it's like, no, I okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, and and Ruby, thank you for sharing that, because it is existential, right? Like, we all as a trans community feel the external pressures of everything that's going on in the world around us, and it can feel hard, and that exasperation is why we need that community that you're building, right? So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and I wish you luck, and you can always send me a message or anything if you need to like think about branching out in different things. There's a lot of different things, so we're all working together in this from the top to the bottom. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing, because how you feel, so many people feel, and having that moment with you can relieve that pain too, right? So thank you.
Right. Thank you too. And you know what? I know Jimmy's listening, and thank you, Jimmy. And to give you a hard time, what the fuck with that hold music? Wow, that'll keep you awake.
Well, I'm sure Jimmy will be excited to answer your question.
Well, I don't want to give him too hard of a time, because he's got a lot on his plate. But
yeah,
but yeah. But thank you guys so much. Yeah,
thank you so much for your call,
we
Ruby.
Appreciate you all out there.
Yeah, thank you for your call. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Okay, you too.
All right. That was a very wholesome first call. And it looks like we got a few wholesome calls today. So the next one, let's talk to. I think we have quite a few calls here that are very good for you, Josie, with your background. So let's talk to Ricky from Colombia. Ricky, you are on the line. What would you like to talk about?
Hey guys, what I want to talk about is how to make how the transatlantic show is like a great starting point for a resource about trans issues and trans rights. And I've called today. I myself have called before. I mean, they say all the time, but when it's a month between calls, is that really all the time? But but one thing that actually inspired this call was like two things. First off, like Katy Montgomerie's "What Rights Don't Trans People Have" article on Medium, a couple of blog posts, post that she has, and something. Well, you could say it's related or unrelated, but I came across some anti-racism resources online, and I was able to find several places where it's just like this long thing that recommends books, articles, documentaries, and websites. And another inspiration too was actually the unofficial Reddit for the transatlantic show. For this show, that an iteration seemed like it had like a thing about trans rights before, but then they deleted it, or maybe I'm thinking of something else entirely. But yeah, because because I think I've seen several calls that will say about, let's say, concerns about children and minors and gender affirming care, and allaying fears about that, or
Right. So
or
are
or
you? Yeah. So you're just trying to ask for resources or how you can find resources. Is that kind of the summary of your question?
and essentially for this show to be like a place that can link to that, or to have a bit of a community, a little community program where we can have that, because just while Katy Montgomerie's "What Rights Don't Trans People Have" is a great start, it could be just like a start, and also for how do you call it, like a one-stop shop for topics like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and that's definitely something that we can look into. I know there's a Discord that a lot of our community goes to that talks about this issues. There's also, I know there's a Reddit. I don't think any of us have anything to do with that. I think that's all fan run. But that's probably a good idea to put everything together. And Josie, do you have any resources? I know you're constantly sifting through these. Are there any places that someone can go to find all of these resources?
So it's really interesting because right now the national nonprofits and state orgs right now are actually working on some stuff right now. They're, one of the things, and Ricky, thank you, for this, is it has been an issue in the past with the fact that we all kind of worked in our own silos, right? Because the trans community kind of started that way. Like everybody was kind of like very insular because it was scary to go out in the world. And it was one of those things. So what we're witnessing now is kind of like the interweaving of where these resources are starting to live, right? And there's a lot more collaboration, more than there ever has been. So, you can start again with just going to like Equality Fed or calling your local, LGBTQ center, right? That's always my first resource. When I tell people that call me on the phone at work and they need support, I immediately give them the number to their local LGBTQ center. But I understand, and I will work. We are working on it to actually create more powerful resources, one-stop shop stuff. Because like if you go to the transequality.org, you'll see an ID center there where you can get your ID help. If you're you can go to the Transgender Law Center to do the same. So there's a lot of resources that are very highly specialized and specific. And we're trying to make those connections with all those other organizations to make sure we're all, wherever we go, we can get it all. But we need to do better. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, does that help answer your question at all?
Yeah, and that was it.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your call. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right. So the next call, we have a gender critical. Are you ready? Are you ready to take the gender critical call?
Let's do it.
All
I'm
right.
excited.
Let's do this. We have Pamela from Australia. You're on the line. What would you like to talk about today?
Hi, I'm Pamela. You probably remember me. So I'm going to talk about, I guess, what is the TOR gender critical position, because I know last time you diverted me off onto like a completely different topic. So I want to, I guess, explain the TOR gender critical position and see if you can argue against it.
Yeah,
I'm missing the word that you're saying. Doctor, what was the first word before you said gender critical position?
The core gender critical position, I think, is what she was saying.
Oh, what is it? Oh, it's just that there's a.
Well, she wants to explain it, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were asking me to explain it. I was like, I can steel man it, but go ahead.
You want me to explain what I see as the TOR position?
Well, yeah,
if you
that's
like
the position that you're. If that's the position that you're coming from, I'd like to know what position you hold, because then we can talk about why we agree or disagree with that. So, are you able to kind of tell us what you believe?
Okay, sure. My position is that the words man and woman throughout society and law should be defined with reference to biology and not with reference to identity or personality or behavior. I'm not arguing for a specific biological definition. I'm not arguing whether sex can change. I'm not arguing any peripheral issue. I'm arguing, whether, I guess, the words man and woman throughout society and law should be defined with regard to biological sex.
Okay.
Or
So
like
why did these need to be
behavior.
so why did these need to be connected in your mind?
Why do the words man and woman have to be connected to biology?
Yeah. Why?
Because I think biological sex has a lot of social and political significance. Like, my life has been severely impacted by my biological sex. I think there are people whose lives are even more severely impacted by their biological sex, to be honest. There are babies
do you believe
because of their
do you believe
biological
that do you know the biology of everybody you meet in public?
I think I can correctly guess the biology of everyone I meet in public 99% of the time, but that's not the question.
How?
The question
Using
is,
what? Using what? What would you
sorry?
use to determine the biology of like 90% of people you meet in public? What specific factors?
Well, I can tell you it's not going to be their clothing.
Okay. I want to step back for a second. Can we step back for a second, because I want to go after something I think a little bit more fundamental to the argument, because I guess my retort to your explanation of gender critical, because I can see where you stand, that you say man woman is biological sex and that's the only thing that matters. Is there a difference between sex and gender to you?
Yeah, I think gender ought to be abolished, and I think sex is biology.
Okay. So you do see a difference?
Yes.
Okay. So when we look at, I'm glad we got there, right? Because I think, we can all agree that sex and gender are different, because I think we can start on some common ground here, right? So for me, it's like, I'm not denying the fact that I was assigned male at birth and my sex was that, and it is that. So I'm not trying to change my sex, right? That's not my position. So for me, it was all about gender, right? So in reality, when I think Dr. Ben was talking about of like trying to quote unquote find somebody's biological sex as they walk around, I think that we have to really understand how our social construction of how we interact with society is really based around gender and not sex. Like, I think if we were a society that just walked around completely nude all the time, maybe people are like, oh yeah, here we are. It's just, it's dichotomy and things like that. But we don't live in that world, right? We live in a world that was constructed around the idea of gender. Gender roles, for example, has been set. Do you believe in gender roles?
I think they should be abolished, but I think it's interesting you brought up the idea that of people walking around nude, because I know that if I walked around nude, I'd be sent to jail. And if a biological male walked around nude, well, actually, if anyone walked around nude, we'd be sent to jail.
Yeah.
But if I walked around topless, I'd be sent to jail. If a biological male walks around topless, they don't get sent to jail.
So hold on. I don't see. So that's not a really good argument to use here, because like the argument there isn't, well, the biological sexes should be treated different. The argument there is they should be treated the same. Like, both Josie and I would agree that it's unfair that you should be denied something just because of your body, and that's exactly where we're coming from. That's where we're coming from with trans rights, is saying that you shouldn't be denied something based on your body. Like, Josie should not be denied uh, being treated the way she wants to be treated because of her body, and I also should not be denied something because of my body. So that's our approach. I think. What are your thoughts on that specifically?
Well, the reason I brought that up is to illustrate that biological females are discriminated against because we are biological females, and we are disadvantaged throughout society in various ways because we are biological females. And because
Well,
of that, I think there should be a movement.
Do you think that the discrimination? Do you think that the discrimination that you face as a biological female is different than the discrimination that a trans woman would face? Well,
yes, because a trans woman is not biological female. A trans woman who has not done anything to their body.
What specific difference in misogyny is being done to someone who is biologically female versus a trans woman? What is different about these situations?
Well, I just gave you an example. If a person with a male body that looks male walks around topless, they don't get sent to jail.
That's not referring to trans women. That's referring to men. So if someone who is perceived to be male, regardless of their biological sex, they're still going to have that privilege. So the privilege is not restricted to the biological sex. It's to the perception of that, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's based on the perception of biological sex, but I cannot be perceived as a male. I am not choosing to be perceived as a female. I am forced to be perceived as a female because I am female.
I have something to say. So it says here that you didn't say your pronouns. So I could just say that you're a they, right? Because it's just like, hey, they don't feel, like you said, they don't feel like they want to be a woman sometimes, right? Like I understand. But I want to go back to the discrimination point as a trans woman versus a cis woman, right? And I guess for me, it's like I still, when I walk around the world, I am perceived as a woman in society. And so I have to deal with a lot of the same issues that, cis women or biological women, the way you want to say it, have the same type of struggles. I feel like you and I would actually have a lot of solidarity there. Right? Because at the end of the day, like, I agree that we should be able to walk around topless if you want. If I took off my shirt right now, we'd get this channel banned, right? Because that's how it is. Like, when I took hormones, I got breasts, and now my breasts are illegal to show in public, right? So that is completely based on the gender construction of what you're talking about. Now, now pull away the biological, the issue with free the nipple and how, women should be able to have that right to do what a cis man does, or any man. I want to say, like, the word gender critical means that you're being critical of gender. So for me, it's like gender abolition is a different conversation rather than being gender critical, right? Because when you say you want to abolish gender, you're taking a different stance than most gender critical folks, right? Because most gender critical folks that I've had communications with would say that gender is strictly linked to sex, so therefore we're going to treat you the way society has constructed gender in its gender roles. So when you actually say, hey, I want to abolish gender and gender roles, I agree. We should, as people, be able to do many things, right? Like, I think that it's wrong that women have specific jobs versus what other men do, right? I think that it's wrong that when non-binary people try to interact with society, people don't treat them certain ways because they don't know what box to put them in, right? So I think we actually agree more than you think, because gender critical, if you can acknowledge that there is a difference between sex and gender, because gender is there, and I think we can all say, like, we can't wave a magic wand and eliminate gender from the world. I think we have to deal with the social constructs that we have right now. So do you have anything to respond to that?
Yeah, I guess where the issue lies for me is that if you, I guess, for me, gender roles would be something like people in male bodies have to be tough and aggressive and dominant, and people in female bodies have to be sweet and submissive and gentle and stuff like that. So I think that when somebody
But that's beyond sex,
decides,
though, right?
like when someone,
But sorry, you cut out for a second. I just want to jump in for a second. It's like you when you said male-bodied and female-bodied, it's the gender role that people put people into that make that happen, right? It's not that like throughout history, like men used to wear pink and bright high heels and things like that, right? It had nothing to do with sex, but the gender role said, hey, this is what it looks like to be bold, right? And so there is a lot there. So I feel like you're conflating sex and gender again, when if you want to eliminate gender, it has nothing to do with sex, because we already agreed that gender and sex are different, right? So I feel like there's a conflation again between male bodies and female bodies, but when you talk, you're talking about gender again.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Okay, my answer?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I'm talking about bodies is because as someone who's female, I feel like the social roles are being imposed on me because I am female. Like I am not choosing to present myself.
So I think we're on the same. I think you're very, very close to getting it. We're all on the same page that those gender roles should not exist, and your body should not determine who you are. Right? I think we both agree there. I think just the difference is, I think your perspective is that you're trying to limit this to just people with female bodies instead of expanding this to, wait, I don't want this to happen to people with female bodies, but I also don't want this to happen to anybody. Like, that's where we're coming from. We're just taking it a step further to, yeah, this is not okay. This is not okay that you were told that your body limits who you can be in life. But I don't want that to happen for me, and I also don't want it to happen for anybody else that I interact with. So I think, again, I think we agree more than we disagree. Like, do you think we might be able to meet there a little bit?
Maybe. I definitely think that, like, so I know I'm talking about female bodies because I have a female body. I also think that, like, people with male bodies, like I said, are expected to be aggressive and tough and dominant. I don't think that should be the expectation that is placed on them. Like, I agree with that.
Right, we agree.
What I disagree with is
you.
I don't think that...
Yeah, we agree.
Right, okay.
And that's the thing,
but
right? Like the yeah, go ahead.
I guess where I take issue is that someone who has a male body and has these expectations placed on them, if they feel that they don't conform to them and then they say, I'm a woman, or they genuinely believe that they're women, are they really challenging the idea that men can be anything? Or are they sort of reinforcing the idea that if you think and feel a certain way, then you're a woman?
So I don't know. I could take a crack at that bit, Dr. Ben, unless you want to go for it, because like there's a lot of, so it's pretty interesting that we both have here a trans man and a trans woman on, and that binary, is pretty interesting, because like when I think of like my own like self as a human, like I have gender dysphoria. Right. Like that's what I have. Right. And not everybody has it, but I have it pretty severely. It's what made me want to go through all the medical transitions that I had, because of the societal construction that basically said, you must fit in this box, the thing that you were saying, right? Which I think we all agree we object to, right? Because it is very traumatic for people to say, no, you're a man, go do man things. Right? Go be with other men. right? And that's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I want to be with other women who identify with the social construction of gender, of what it is to be a woman, because I think you and I have very similar lived experiences as women in our own right and how we deal with the world around us. So for me, I guess it's not a question of I feel like a woman, therefore I am one. Right. Because like, there's really no way if you saw me on the street, I would hope and I would think that you would be very polite to me and not be mean. But I don't know if you would ever know if I was actually a trans woman. Like when you say female body, I have a female body. Like I have a female body. Like it is very real. And so I guess for me, it's like I'm in the gender construction that is woman just as much as you are. And that is the unique lived experience that we both share. Regardless of how we agree or look at the world, the gender construction that you and I both live in is women in the way that the society is structured. We can have philosophical discussions about the evolution of gender and what that looks like. If gender never existed, what would transition be? But those are philosophical thought experiments, right? The reality is that we exist. I exist. I'm talking to you right now. And my lived experience as a woman when I walk down the street in public is that of a woman, because that is the way that I live my life, and that is the way that I am and who I am. So does that make sense? Because I think we're having a more of a philosophical conversation about the abolition of gender versus the actual lived reality of the world and society that you and I have to share.
And I want to jump in here too, because I come from a completely different lived experience than both of you. And this was a question that I had to think to myself when I was coming out to myself as trans, because there is that question of, do I just hate gender roles? Do I hate the way women are treated? Or am I not a woman? And that was the question I had to think through. So for me, a lot of it came down to examples of things that were absolutely equal. And the only difference was the body and like the features that this person would have. So I took Vikings. Vikings are cool. I like Vikings. A lot of people like Vikings. They're very strong. They raided villages, all that stuff. They wear cool hats with horns on them, all that. But I was like, okay, you take a Viking in a movie or whatever, and you have a male Viking and a female Viking. They're both doing the same thing. The actions are not any different. They're the same. Just the only difference is it's their bodies and the way that they're dressed, maybe. And for me, it was, okay, which one do I want to be? If I had the choice of one of these two, I picked the male one. And then I think about other things in my life that are a bit less hypothetical, like back before transition when because I come from a theater background. So I always wanted to play male characters. And even with things like ballet, it's a very feminine activity. I hated doing it when I was presenting female. But looking back, I would happily step back into a ballet classroom as a man. Like, I'm happy with feminine activities as a man doing them. Same thing, I was a cheerleader in high school, presenting female, but I wanted to be the male cheerleader. We had one male cheerleader on my squad, and I wanted to be him. So it's the same activity, and we're talking about people just being not wanting to be feminine men and just transitioning to women. No, there is a place for feminine men, and I'm happy to be a man doing some things that are feminine as a man. So I don't think that's a good argument to eliminate trans women from this conversation, because there is a spectrum of all of these people, and to hate on one group of people just because they're not this other group of people, both groups still exist. We're not eliminating any of these people. We're just adding inclusion for all of them.
Okay. Well, I don't have any because they're trans. I guess.
Your audio is really choppy right now.
Yeah, so is it? Sorry.
There, better.
Oh, it's better now.
That's better. Okay, cool.
Okay. Not really.
No, I lost you.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the
Is there
audio
a
is
place
really
with better
choppy.
reception?
move closer to your router.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's because
There we
the
go.
laptop's
Perfect.
not plugged in. You can hear me now?
Yes, I
yeah,
hear
it's
you
a lot
great.
better now.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So you've described two very different experiences, neither of which are really mine, but that's not important. I guess, yeah. So Josie's experience seems to be being born in a male body and not liking the expectations placed on males, and Ben's seems to
That's
be
not. I
being
don't think
born
you
in a
listened to
female.
what
Mm-mm.
Pamela. I don't think you
I
listened
just
to
want
what
a quick.
Josie said, because that was not at all the experience that Josie just communicated.
Yeah, and
Okay, what did I
it
get
didn't
wrong?
have it. Sorry. The idea of gender dysphoria. It wasn't the fact that I, as a male-bodied person, I was having this like, oh my gosh, I don't like this stuff. Like, it was funny that Dr. Ben was saying about being a cheerleader. I wanted to be a cheerleader, but because I lived in a very a place that wasn't very happy, like in Texas, I couldn't even be a male cheerleader because it was going to be bad, right? So there was all that. But really, I think beyond that, I really am, no matter how much I lived and tried to live my life as a man, it never felt right. It never felt comfortable, no matter how much I did. I was, I ran for office pre-transition. I played soccer. I was athletic. I actually, went and, I was a bodybuilder in the Navy. I was in the military. Like, I did all of the things that a lot of people would be perceived as masculine. And it had nothing to do with my body. It was about the gender that I was assigned. That is what it was, is that I never felt comfortable in the gender of man. So it really wasn't any more than that. So when I talked about the social construction, I just wanted to live in the world of the social construction that was already given to us as the woman that I am, right? So does that make sense? Because I'm not denying the fact that I was born a male, right? That's not my argument. It's the fact that now I am living more comfortably as myself. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you wanted to do the things that society says women should do, right?
Yeah, basically, but more of like, if I was, that's basically right. Like, I just wanted to be in the
Well, yeah.
gender of woman, like you are. Like, it doesn't really. It's not about the actual femininity. It's just that I'm a woman, and I wanted the world to know that.
All of this. Yeah, all of this isn't about. It's not about like performing gender necessarily. It's just about being the most authentic self that you are. It's just me. Like, my dysphoria made me feel like I was not me in the body I was given, in the gender I was interacting with society as. The way I was interacting with society was not me and did not make me feel like me. So my goal is not to be a cis man. I know I'm not a cis man. I'm not trying to be one. But I'm just trying to be me, and I'm happy being me. And I think Josie is trying to say that she's happy being Josie. And all of our trans community, we're just happy to be me. And the thing getting me up in the morning, I'm way happier now that I'm in my transition. And it's not because I'm performing as a cis man. It's because I feel like me. I look in the mirror and I'm like, that's me. I recognize that person. Like, pre-transition, even though I didn't know I was trans, I did not know who the person was looking at me. And like, I'd be shocked sometimes because you don't think about who you are to yourself a lot. You don't have those identity crises a lot. But there were times when I looked at myself in a mirror, I was like, I don't know who this person is. Like, how is that? That's who the world sees me as? Because I don't see myself that way. And that's all it is helping the world see you the way that you want to see yourself. And that's all that we ask for.
Okay, well, I find it, okay, so I think everyone should be free to be themselves. I don't think you can control how others see you. Like, you assumed, I think Josie assumed I was happy in the gender role of woman. I am not happy with gender roles. I want to abolish gender roles. I don't want to do the
And again, that's a whole separate conversation. That's a whole separate conversation. Yeah, gender evolution is a whole different movement.
Pamela, I want you to do me a favor because I know we've been talking a bit here. Go ahead, ask me that question. What were you saying? Go ahead.
Why did you say I was happy in the gender role woman? Why did you assume that?
I didn't assume that. I actually said the opposite. I said that you didn't give us your pronouns, and you said already that you're unhappy with the fact that you can't take your shirt off compared to a cisgendered man. So I actually assumed you to be more on the non-binary spectrum, so the gender roles don't affect you as much. And I just want you to take a look at this for a second. I want you to think about this, and I'm completely being in good faith here because I really appreciate this conversation and where we started and where we are now. Think about what that means to you about how you're not comfortable being a woman, right? Or sometimes you're not happy being perceived as a woman or being put into the box of woman, right? I want you to think about that and think about what and compare it to what you can't know inside my brain, but this is the best I can do with the explanation. How I felt the same way about being a man, right? So much so that I had to do something about it, right? So some people have the same feeling that you're having, but maybe more intensified, right? And they're just like, I don't want to be perceived as a woman anymore because it doesn't feel good and it makes me feel sad, right? And that's where Dr. Ben was talking about being happy, because I was also a very sad, depressed person pre-transition. When I was able to come out and express myself freely as the person I am is when I became happier. I know so many non-binary people that are not men or women. They just feel as a non-binary person and they live their truth that way. So I can understand that very well. So I'm not going to invalidate how much it sucks to be put into a box that you may not agree with fully. So I want to acknowledge that, and I want you to think about that. What does that actually mean, right?
Okay, well, what it means for me is that women should be free to be themselves and still be women. Like, I would not call myself non-binary because then I'm saying that a woman can't be what I am. A woman can't be confident. A woman can't be outspoken. A woman
No, it's weird. In this whole argument, and you've carried this through multiple arguments now, is the assumption that if I'm happy being something that someone else isn't, then that means I'm excluding that person. And that's not at all what you don't have to exclude anybody. Like, I don't know why your argument and why you seem to need to exclude people. Why do you need to exclude anybody in this conversation in order for you to be happy with who you are?
Well, what I said wasn't about excluding anyone. I was trying to explain why I don't identify as non-binary, because Josie seemed to be implying that I should. Maybe I misunderstood that.
No, I'm not. I never said should. I never said should.
No, and your argument just then was, well, I can't be non-binary because that would invalidate the experience of other women. Like, but it sounds like you are assuming that if you don't fit into this framework that you've already kind of assumed to be there, that you're going to be excluding people. And I just don't see why this is a dichotomy of either I can be this and people are going to be upset, or are going to be this and people aren't going to. Like, this is a very weird thing to just lump together, I think.
Well, I guess my position is that a woman can behave however they want. Sorry?
Oh, no, yeah, I'll let you say something, and then I think we've made a lot of headway in this discussion. So I think this will kind of be the final thought, and then maybe we'll pick this back up next time.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't want the word woman to be defined with reference to personality, behavior, etc., presentation, any of that stuff, even liking female, but being in a female body, because I think that limits what a woman can be. I think a woman can be highly masculine and be a woman. A woman can be highly feminine and be a woman. A woman can hate their body and be a woman.
Here's what I'm going to leave you with,
because
Pamela, we already addressed this. So I want you to go back and rewatch this call. And I want you to think about the first question I asked you. And the next time that you call in, I want to address this question. Why do you believe that biology and the word woman need to be connected? Because I think, again, like this is where we're circling back to that point of this conversation.
You don't want what? Sorry, say
because
it again.
I don't want women connected to anything else. I don't
so
want
you don't want
women
it to mean anything else.
Personality or
so
okay.
Then you want it.
So
okay.
can I?
So
I just want to say this
Josie
final thought. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Ben. I did not mean to interrupt you like that. But I just want to say this. We agree that we should not define people by the way that they express themselves. In fact, a lot of queer theory, when you talk about like the way people are, you have sex, you have gender, gender identity, gender expression, and you also have orientation, right? And I would say relationship configuration between polyamorous and monogamous. But gender expression is completely independent of somebody's gender. We agree on that. The fact of the matter is we don't want people to be perceived by what gender they are by the way that they express themselves, right? So that's what I think we should go back and, watch the video again and really think about where do we actually disagree versus a trans person versus a not trans person? Because at the end of the day, I agree that you can be presenting any way you want and that doesn't even interact with the identity that you have, right? And that is something that I think is where we can go and look up gender expression too, and know that gender expression is independent of somebody's gender identity.
Yeah, so I think this is a great place to end the call. Definitely review all of that, watch this call back, and we'll talk to you next time. Hopefully we can address some of this in the future.
Yeah, thank you, Pamela.
So we have some more callers on the line, but just another reminder for everybody in the side chat, we will be reading out super chats at the end of the show, and we'll still have to figure out what our challenge is for Josie and me, and who's gonna lose and what we're gonna have to do. But get your super chats in, because sometimes people get them in at the very end of the super chats and it's too late and they don't count. So be sure to get your votes in so that we can get to those.
Did you see what last week's punishments were?
I did not see what last week's punishments were.
The loser had to respond to 5 Matt Walsh tweets.
Ooh. Was it 5? Is that what they ended up on?
5,
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
5 Matt Walsh tweets, yeah.
Ooh, I'm down to do something, some kind of challenge like that.
Yeah. We were thinking about some other funny, harsh ones that are like, all right, you have to tweet at Matt Walsh, and the tweet has to begin with "one thing I do like about at Matt Walsh is," and then you can end it however you like.
I love that kind of punishment. That's fantastic.
Now the stakes. Team Josie, everybody.
I feel like I'd be most excited to see how you would creatively turn a sentence which begins with "the thing I like most about at Matt Walsh" into an insult. The creativity that I know both of you are capable of would be tremendous. Shall we make it that? Whoever loses has to tweet. Tweet. The starting with the phrase "the thing I do like about at Matt Walsh" blog or whatever his thing is. So whoever loses.
Yeah. So for the side chat, that means we want a whole bunch of hashtag Team Ben this week, because we all know that Josie's way more creative than I am with this kind of thing. So you all definitely want to see Josie.
Josie
tweet at Matt Walsh,
looks like she wants to lose.
Josie wants to.
As like my Twitter following is small but mighty. Like my following is like all of these like really political establishment folks. So it's going to be really interesting. so please hashtag Team Josie if you don't want me to suffer.
There's no bad answer here. This is so enjoyable in either way.
Yeah, so with that, get your super chats in, get your votes in, and they have to be in the super chat of $5 or more with the vote hashtag Team Ben or hashtag Team Josie in order to count. Otherwise, we won't see it and it will not be tallied into the vote. So with that, we're going to move on to our next call. This is Steve from Missouri. You're on the line. What would you like to talk about today?
Oh, thank you. Good to be on the show. Well, I just wanted to kind of give a parent's perspective. I'm a loving parent of a trans male child. I shouldn't say child anymore. He's 26. And then I just have a kind of couple of questions of how I'm dealing with, like down in my office, I still have all the old pictures of him as a child. I kind of keep that around me there. I don't necessarily put them up or hang them around the house. And I would just kind of get your perspective of how you would feel about that. And I guess the other thing I
this sounds.
Is,
Go ahead, Dr. Ben.
Yeah, well, my family is not supportive. So I just visited my family over the holiday break, and they still have all of the pictures of me pre-transition up. They're not using the name that I use, which is my legal name. They do not use my legal name. My parents still, like, their profile pictures and like their cover photos on Facebook are still with me pre-transition. So they're still very heavily holding onto this. And I have to say, like, I am very happy to hear that you are respecting your adult child and his identity. I appreciate the fact that you're not forcing him to look at those old pictures. That's incredible. I wish that my family would do that. I think I don't. Josie might disagree with me.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I don't think it's necessarily a problem to have memories for yourself.
right.
I don't know, Josie, what do you think?
So I had I lost half of my family. But like when I came out as trans, it took my other side of the family that took them about a year and a half to get around to it. So I'm sorry, Dr. Ben, that it's still like that. I think honestly, Steve, this is a great opportunity for you to actually have a conversation about what makes your child, I guess, I don't know. I know you don't want to say that, but your child, what, or can I say son? Or what is that? Is that easier?
Yes.
Or okay,
yes.
great. So one thing about is having that conversation with your son about what makes him feel uncomfortable. Right. And being able to make sure it's like, does these things actually make you uncomfortable? If they do, and just be open to whatever that answer is and use that as an opportunity to get to know how gender shows up for your son. Because I think that it can be a conversation that feels kind of like personal, but you're the father, right? You're a supportive dad. These are conversations that I would assume would be very welcome at this point, where it's like, these are the things that you're thinking about, and better understanding how gender dysphoria shows up for him may better inform you on other things that you may or may not be noticing about what you're doing, right? And we all have blind spots, right? And I don't think that your son's going to be upset if you make a mistake, right? I think he's going to be extremely ecstatic that you're even asking the question. So this is just a good opportunity for you to be more informed of what the internal machinations of what your son is thinking when he comes home. Like, how do you feel when you come home?
Right.
Like, ask that question, right? Do you feel comfortable? Should I do more? Can I do more? Things that you can do. And you could start off with the pictures as an example to get the conversation going.
Well, and that was the kind of the thing in the beginning when he came out, when 16 in the transition. It wasn't like, oh boy, my child's transgender. It was kind of like, and then between my wife and myself, we didn't understand at the time. And I know we started having conversation. And at one point I just sat down and said to him, I believe you. It doesn't matter what I feel or if I understand it. I believe you, and what you feel.
Yeah, and I think, and go ahead. No, I'm sorry, I interrupted. No, please keep sharing.
Well, I was just saying too, being a parent, you always miss your little child, and I do the same thing with my daughter. I miss her when she was little, and I miss my son when he was little, and I still have a lot of those fond memories that are still part of my life. But I don't want to do anything that makes him feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, this is great, right? And it's almost like you're also making me think I need to call my mom and have another conversation of what it means to be me, right? Because when I first came out, it was a whirlwind, it was a tornado, it was just like, please just accept me a little bit, right? And I let time pass. And I haven't really said, hey, how do you think everything's going with me, right? What do you want to have that conversation? So a decade is a long time. And I was just having this conversation with Dr. Ben before the show about how I feel in my own transition and how I'm no longer really in that active phase of transitioning. Right? I feel very comfortable of where I am, and I have very few things left on the agenda for my transition, which is a place that I dreamed of 3 years ago, right? And I'm here now. And the way that I view myself, how I view my identity, what it means to be a woman has all matured even more at this point. And it may be a conversation of, this is what it's been for the last decade with your son, and actually be able to have that exploratory journey that it is to be trans, right? Because it's a journey. It's a long walk down a long road, and we see a lot along the way. And these conversations could be very interesting and informative. And I think that this would be. I'm excited for the growth in the relationship, with what the container that you're creating the conversation in is filled with love. And I thank you so much for being a supportive parent, especially in a world where there's so hard to find supportive family members.
Yeah, and that was the one good thing, because my parents, my wife's parents, everybody within our family is supportive. It's not an issue with us.
Yeah,
that's amazing to hear, and I think it goes a long way having somebody who cares and who is trying. Like I know that especially as a parent, you're constantly wondering, am I doing the right thing for my kid? Exactly. And the fact that you have that thought in your mind, and that you care, and that you're trying, and that you want to have the conversations, and you want to engage with them in a way that makes them feel comfortable is very encouraging. And I think more often than not, trans people are willing to meet you where you're at. We're not expecting people to just immediately get everything right and never stumble, but we just want to know that people are trying and that people care. So I think you're in a good spot, and I hope you're able to have these conversations with your son and develop that relationship even more.
Well, yeah, I hope so too, because he's an asset for me. I love him. I like to have him around.
And I'm sure it's the other way around too.
Yeah, but I do have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, he does these drag shows, and I don't know, they're not your grandfather's drag shows. These are, he dresses up, and a lot of the people dress up in these heavy metal. They do lip sync to the heavy metal music.
Is he a drag king?
So he looks more like yeah, I guess that's what you would call it. I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to understand it more. I haven't been to a show.
If it's masculine presenting drag, he's a drag king. Yeah.
A drag king. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's just a different perspective. I haven't been to the shows yet, but because usually they're late at night. And
oh my goodness! I bet. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, drag is really a performance, whatever, if you're trans or not trans, right?
Yeah.
Like, it really is just a fun time to just like get your entertainment on, you know, have a crowd, be fun and exciting. And so, you know, it really is nothing more than a performance, regardless of gender identity. So no, that's really great. And I'm glad that he's having fun. That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, he's running the whole show, so he's organizing and then he makes a little bit of money out of it.
Great.
That's awesome.
It's a good hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your call, Steve. We're getting to the end of the show here, and we got one more caller that we want to take. But thank you for calling in. I'd be happy to have you call back and give us an update on how everything went. I'd be excited to hear more from you.
Yeah.
Okay, I sure will. All right, thank you for your work too.
All right. Yeah, thanks for your call, and have a good rest of your day. All right, we are at the tail end of the show. Before we get to super chats, we have one more call that's been waiting for a little while. So we are going to talk to Pip from the UK. You're on the line. What would you like to talk about today?
Fantastic. Before I get to my main question, I do want to just say a very quick thank you to both of you for the previous discussion with the gender critical individual, because I'm kind of a baby trans in that I'm exploring more of my gender and don't fully have all the vocabulary yet to describe my personal experience of gender, and saying that I'm defining myself a certain way is extremely helpful as a bit of a summary. So very quick thank you for that.
Absolutely.
But my main question that I wanted to submit to you is one that I've been thinking about for some time, because I'm a very loudmouth online activist who is frequently making Twitter arguments with TERFs, whether it's productive or not, because I feel that this particularly harmful narratives need to be challenged. But also there's this thing called Brandolini's law, which is colloquially and a bit crudely known as the bullshit principle, in that it takes a lot more effort to debunk and dispel misinformation than it is to, speak it. Because as you no doubt realize, with that gender critical individual, whether they knew it or not, they were very easily able to, quickly repeat these common misconceptions and these quirky sound bites, whether or not they were, reflective of reality. And it took so much longer to explain why they are wrong, for better or for worse. So how can we, best combat this and ensure that we are getting accurate information across to people who are willing to learn, let's say, who are willing to learn but may not fully understand yet?
Yeah. Okay, I'll go for it. So there is a point where, like you said, like on Twitter, when you're talking to people who are just completely closed-minded, their whole opportunity isn't going to be to listen in good faith. So it takes a long time to, like you said, debunk all the bad information and all of that. So I feel your frustration there, especially when there are massive public figures and you're just like, why aren't you listening to me? They don't read those comments. They just tweet and move on. And a lot of times, right? So one of the things is you got to think, I kind of liken it to marriage equality, right? When we were trying to make marriage equality an acceptable, like ability for people to live as open and with their partners and in a legal marriage. When we first started the fight, or when the fight was raging on, in about 10 years, we were able to really flip the narrative of like 76% now approve of same-sex marriage. But that happened not because people were going in and talking about, oh, you're wrong and this is why you're wrong. It was an emotional appeal of, hey, my sister, my brother, my family member, my friend, my boss, my employee, my coworker were gay, and they were fine, right? And really, that's really what ended up happening, is when the hateful people would say, oh, marriage equality is a sin, it's an abomination, and it's going to destroy society. When enough people are like, no, it's not, you're being ridiculous. Yes, is there still 26 or 24% of America in particular that want marriage equality gone? Sure. Are they going to win that fight? No. Right? So when it comes down to it, it is going to take more conversations with people who are willing to learn, people in your nearest circles that are going to be like, hey, I want to know more about this, and have open minds. So then when you have those conversations with those people, when they leave your space and go and talk to somebody else, and somebody else says, hey, trans people, they're gross, and then the person that you informed is like, well, actually, I know Pip, and Pip's pretty great. And I think that this is what we need to be able to actually have a conversation on, right? It's a long and tedious process. But what I have learned in all of my years of organizing is it's always better to talk to people who are willing to listen versus the people who already have their minds shut. And I know that the people who have their mind shut are loud, and you feel like there's a million of them and you can't stop, and it's just continual flow. But really, more people are in the middle, and they just need to talk to you or somebody like you or somebody like me or anybody, right? And that is how we win this fight of misinformation, is really creating an allyship of understanding that appeals to the emotions, not the logic.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Because the thing is that identity is a complex cultural topic, and I'm pretty certain that nobody exclusively defines themselves by biology and with absolutely no cultural input. Like, I'm a metalhead, I play bass guitar, I like playing video games and dinosaur nerd, etc., etc., etc. All these things are parts of culture. They may be informed by the real world subject, like biology or whatever, but they are not the exclusive thing. And I think more people need to realize that gender is as much a part of our personal expression, however we choose to define it, as, you know, as any other physical aspect of ourselves would be.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And I think something that has been helpful for me in having discussions with those people that are on the fence and not knowing which way to go is helping them understand that a lot of this is multifactorial, and that, just like you're saying, there are multiple things that contribute to who somebody is and why they do what they do. And I think it's nice to take an angle of asking questions and understanding where they're coming from, talking to them from a point of curiosity, and then engaging with them that way is often helpful. But yeah, when you have people that just don't want to listen, and I've had actually a pretty terrible week on Twitter with people like this. I got dogpiled by a few people on the lovely Twitter this week, and it got very depressing and discouraging. But like, there's a healthy point where you need to set boundaries and you need to walk away. And like, sure, there are some days where I'm totally fine addressing those people. Some days I think it's not as depressing for me to respond. So like, if I'm not having a bad day, if I'm kind of enjoying the conversation, sometimes they say funny things and aren't being too harmful. And in those cases, yeah, I might be more willing to engage with them. Or if I'm just feeling fiery that day and want to have that conversation, yeah, I might do it. But I know for myself that there's a time when I walk away or I block them, and it's okay. You are allowed to. You don't need to constantly engage with these people. You are not obligated to engage. Like, only engage so much as it does not hurt you and does not impact the way that you're going to feel about yourself. Or yeah, so it's, I know we feel a lot of pressure to have to be on all the time, but you don't need to be. And that's why we have a community. That's why we have so many people engaging from all different angles. We have Josie on more of the political side of things. I'm on the medical side of things. Like, it's easy to get bogged down and think I have to address every single piece of misinformation in every area, and you can't do that. It is impossible to be good at every single area. And so it's okay to say, I don't know much about politics. This is not my area. I'm gonna do what I can for my level that I'm at, but I don't need to hate myself if I can't go speak at this event, or if I can't go to Congress or whatever, because that's not what I'm good at. But somebody like Josie might be happy to step up and do that, whereas somebody like Josie is not going to be showing up to the family medicine clinic on Monday to be giving HRT to people. Like, there's different areas that we all have, and it's okay to step back when something is not what you want to address. So I think that's my big point about it.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to mention?
Just that. Sorry, there was something in my head, and I just immediately forgot it, unfortunately. But I do want to say that there's a thing on Twitter called "What Is a Woman Bot." I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
But that's a really nice tool for some of the more pervasive, anti-trans, dishonest questions, and it can be helpful as a quick reference tool for people who may actually want to engage in this. And it's a great way of seeing if someone actually wants to engage the topic in good faith, or if they want to have their biases confirmed. Because I think at the end of the day, the key weapon in the anti-trans arsenal is fear. I'm old enough to have been around when the gay marriage debate was at its peak, and throughout high school, the worst someone could be called was gay. It was a stick to be beaten over the head with. And while this hasn't exactly gone away entirely, it still has changed substantially, where these is now being applied to a different, now presumed acceptable group. And I think we just need to engage with people in a way that makes us be people. We need, one of the biggest things I remember in helping me understand, gay people was Rob Halford, lead singer of Judas. But he's also extremely gay, and he used the metal culture as a way to express his sexuality at a time when it wasn't entirely publicly acceptable. And I think when we try to, frame the trans experience in a similar manner, we can, lead people to understand from a perspective that we are just trying to live our lives rather than some big conspiracy of trying to infiltrate and hurt another group. It's not always us versus them. It's usually just people wanting to exist.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you for all of that, Pip. Yeah. Visibility is our most powerful weapon.
Exactly. Anyway, I shan't keep you any longer. Thank you very much for listening. I managed to get in, and I look forward to seeing what the super chats are. So, bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in. Talk to you next time. All
That was a good
right.
last
That's
call.
all the. Yeah, that's a nice wholesome last call for the evening. And now we get into the competition of the super chat.
God.
So I hope you all got your votes in, because somebody's gonna have to tweet at Matt Walsh. And
these stakes are too
we're
high.
gonna find out who. These stakes are so high.
Spicy steaks. I love a spicy steak. Do y'all want music or anything? We can do that now.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Let's get some music on.
Let's do it.
For the super chat portion.
Yeah, because otherwise you just have to listen to us.
Yeah, we can fill in some of the awkward pauses between when people forget whose turn it is to read and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, because we suck at that.
I
Should
do
we-
too.
I gotta pick between. I'll give you some playlist names that we can go between. There's Pop Hot 100, which is not like any pop because this is licensed music, but through a service. So it's not like top pop.
Okay.
It's like from Epidemic, basically their top pop 100.
Yeah.
Still good music. We got hip hop, electronic, lo-fi beats, trap beats. We're all super queer. We could do trap beats. R&B.
I love trap beats.
Trap beats are fine, or lo-fi beats are my vote. Either or, but I'll go with trap beats.
Either's great.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, somebody choose. I don't know.
Yeah, trap beats.
There was
trap beats.
Trap beats.
Okay,
Trap
cool.
beats.
Here we go.
Oh man, feels so fancy.
Just have a little. I have no idea how good it comes through to y'all, but I know it should go through to the audience fine.
Hey, chat, is that too loud?
Yeah, tell us how to level this shit. I'm gonna take it down a little. I bet it is too loud.
Because it's very loud for me.
Yeah.
Pull it down to like here. How's that? Oh, wait. I know why it's so loud. Because it's auto-equalizing in vMix. Let me fix that real quick. Let me take that off.
Oh,
okay.
no.
It's like, we got music now. Wait.
Is that better?
We got music, and now it's just
yes,
music.
that's much better.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's
for us.
it's
Let's
much
do it,
better.
though.
Yeah, I like that. Everybody
problem-
was loud. Is it better now, everybody?
The problem was, so I have everything set to like, once we have all of our audio stuff, this is on the same line that calls are handled, the same part of the board that calls are handled. And so everybody gets equalized to roughly the same level after everything else.
People are saying turn it down more.
They're saying it's still too loud.
Still loud.
Oh, no. There's a delay. There's a lag. They said it's perfect. Don't change it. Don't change it.
Now, okay.
Keep it where it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry. It's like
sweet.
so many people are here and they're all chatting and it's super great. So it took a minute before everybody figured it out. All right. We got it.
Awesome. We'll do this.
See, if you want engagement, for tips for anyone with the YouTube channel, if you want more engagement in your chat, have your audio way too loud and everybody will let you know about it.
But then it'll ruin your engagement after when people are rewatching, because people will not stick around if the audio's too bad.
That's fair.
That's true.
It's unfortunate. Aren't we all on the same line, Jimmy? That sounds so philosophical. I don't know what you're saying. Miss me with that philosophy shit. All right, let me see if I did the rest of my job right before I pull this window up. Nope, I sure haven't. Let me fix that. Anybody want to freestyle over it?
No.
You can't just put me on the spot like that.
Do not ask me.
Have you ever, did y'all ever watch Community?
Yes.
No. I think you've asked me this like 800 times, and every time I've said no, Jimmy.
There's an episode where the dean, so the dean is sort of this gender fluid pansexual person who does a lot of like costumes and stuff throughout. And one day he comes in as like a rapper, and at first he just starts doing like a fun little thing, like, and we're gonna have a show out on the quad, and then he gets super serious and it gets hardcore. it's a really good scene. It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
So good.
Yeah. And a movie, hashtag and a movie, which I think is set to film start filming in May.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're
Cool.
doing it. All right, I think this
That's
should
great.
work now. Wait, that's the wrong one. Let me hit this super chats.
There it is.
Yes. Cool.
All right.
Go
I'll
ahead,
go
since you're
first.
the
We
first
got
one.
5. We got 5 Australian from Jackie. Can't be here for this show at work, but I look forward to watching it back. Preemptive hashtag Team SDB as a frequent flyer. Haha. Much love and a heart. Thank you, Jackie, for your super chat, and thank you for the vote, getting us off on a good foot already for Team Ben.
All right, I
Josie's
have to
getting
track of
nervous
points
already.
too. God damn it!
I already am. I'm just like, oh god, I'm not gonna read it
So
like
much
this.
work for you, Jimmy.
I have the wrong names up on the scoreboard. I'm fixing it. Hang on, let me.
Oh yeah,
Today's,
I'm obviously Arden. Yeah.
today's
And I guess I'm Abigail.
here
All
we
right,
go.
there we go.
Or would you
All
prefer Team Venus? Which would you like?
You can put Bean. I don't care if you want to put Venus. That's fine. You can put Venus.
How is that with 2 E's or 1?
I spell it with 2 E's. 2 Venus.
Okay.
There's some troll that called me Venus once. He's actually a
It's super
fun person. I like
affirming.
him, but No, yeah, he called me Venus, and I was like, you know what? We'll keep it. I don't hate it. So.
We'll keep it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, hang on, I gotta fix it's too small. I changed Josie's too, but you
small.
can't see what it says.
It's Josie for Prez.
That's what it says. Yeah, but it shows Josie for P. And I feel like if I go smaller,
Josie for P.
That's okay.
Get horny, chat.
What about?
That's a good way to get
her new
horny.
Oscar Foxtrot name.
Yeah.
Team Prez Josie. That works.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. Someone said turn the music down just a tad more. The songs also have different levels, so I'll pull it in a little bit. Okay.
Right,
did you already read this
one.
one? You did. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we read this one. Next one.
All right. So we have 110. Check. I don't know how to say what that is. From
Cronus?
Naresh at Cronus. Yeah, that's right. For Team Jimmy Dillahunty.
Snillahunty.
Snillahunty.
Team Jim Snillahunty. Thank you for this show about trans people and trans issues. Thank you for voting for the cis. Wow.
this white guy.
I love you, Naresh.
The token sis.
Yes, I am the
Don't
token
forget
sis.
that you're a token here, Jimmy. You're the token on your own channel, Jimmy.
I kind of like that.
$5 from Melissa. Fear is the path to the dark side.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, I didn't mean that. I meant
the path
that
to
I'm
the
gonna
dark
take this
side.
point.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Yoda. # Go Navy. # Reactor controls div.
So
I don't quite know what the last
the
thing means.
inside. So I and Alyssa were both reactor operators in the United States Navy at one point in our lives.
Okay.
So that's why it's a Team
yeah.
Josie. I'm taking it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because we have to have the rivalry because I'm in the army, so and army navy rivalry is always a thing. So
Yeah, and the abbreviation is Reactor Controls Division. So that's what the abbreviation is.
Okay.
Keep bragging about your government-run cults. Love it.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Hey, my government-run cult got me out of like $400,000 of debt. So
yeah, I get it. It's I get it. Anyway.
Okay. So 169 from Corona from Naresh. # Team Josie, because you are doing great work for progress, and because while I don't know what a Caballero is, I don't either. It doesn't sound really tasty. Chili sauce, extra cheese, please.
Oh, I think there's another trans activist, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
What's the name's
Alejandra.
different? Alejandro what?
Yeah. It's like Caballero, I think, something like that. Caballero.
I
Something
feel
like
like
that. I need to look at it better.
I'd like to be able to blame my shortcomings on other people. And I'm gonna blame her.
Yeah. So my last name is pronounced Caballero. People want to know.
There's a song
which is always a fun, name, which is a fun play. The fact that the side of my family that basically disown me and doesn't interact with me, I kept the Caballero side because Caballero actually directly translates into gentleman or man. So the fact is, they really care about their name, but because I'm doing really cool stuff, when you Google Caballero, I come up, which is hilarious. Because I'm completely making their name represent a trans woman, which I love.
That's awesome.
So I picked Jimmy, just based on my middle name, but Jim is almost like a mythical character in our excuse me, it was my grandpa, but all these stories about him, and he's like the person who's most revered in our family. He was in World War II and all this stuff. And my family so upset when I started going by, like, being a heathen and going by Jim and Jimmy, because they were like, my dad literally told me I should pick a different name. I'm like, nah, I'll just stick with mine. I'm gonna keep it. It's all good. Deal with it.
It's
bruh.
nice.
Yeah, see, Torben is it's Thor's bear, and I did not think about that being a trans mask stereotype, but I named myself a trans mask stereotype without even thinking about it. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I think we're ready for the next one.
I love the votes that are going
I'm
on.
just kidding. I was jamming to the
All
bop.
right.
Some people asked me to freestyle, so I was trying to figure out how to rhyme TACIS. I was like, follow us on Patreon. That's where you should back us. If you don't, we can't do another show of TACIS. That was the best I came up with. That was all.
That's good.
That's decent.
I'll take that.
It's better than I could do.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
you're both so kind. But now you have
We
to send us
have
more
10
super chats. I did it. I freestyled.
Yeah.
We need more points. Send me money.
We have $10 from All Things Considered. What are your thoughts? Should cis women that are anti-trans be... could cis women that are anti-trans be jealous that trans women will women better than them? As in more attractive, more recognition, etc. Hashtag team fence sitters. Sorry, fence sitters don't get votes here. So, good job wasting your vote. But...
what are my thoughts on cis women that are anti-trans? I mean, it's like anything else, right? Like people can be jealous of other people, and there's a lot of people are mean for a lot of different reasons, and so
how dare you be happy? I'm not happy. You shouldn't be happy either.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna kick you out of the club so I can make sure that you're never pretty. It's like, come on, So
it's like that whole argument with.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like a lot of that GC argument, even that we heard today, was like, yeah, well, I'm unhappy, and I don't want you to also claim that you're unhappy and be part of my unhappiness. Like, okay.
Yeah, and then there was a bunch of TERFs and gender critical folks that said that we need to get trans women out of beauty pageants because we have a biological advantage, and I'm like, wait a minute. So yeah, that actually happened. Where they're actually trying to say that trans women have biological advantages for female beauty pageants, women beauty pageants. It's like, what? So it's true.
They will throw any excuse.
Yeah, any
All
excuse
right,
at all.
What's our next one for Josie?
It is $10 from Larry. Sorry if I Fishman. There, I got it. Gender theory cleared peer review in the mid-90s. People who disagree with it are simply wrong. I don't understand why it took so long to enter public discourse. I agree, Larry. I agree. I think it was because it was too scary for trans people to be visible. Go ahead, Ben.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, I've been doing a lot of studying on my own in gender theory, and I want to get a sociologist to talk on one of my shows about it, because I think people haven't studied, people who haven't studied sociology and gender theory, are missing out, because it is such an in-depth and nuanced topic that, when we're still stuck in, but man or woman, we are way past that conversation now. We should be able to move on. And all you got to do is read some books, and a lot of this will become much more complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
Next super chat.
$9.99 from Rick. Yeah, your feelings are changing on changing the name transgender to what it actually is, gender corrected. I don't know if I like that, because that kind of implies that there was a mistake
incorrect?
that needed to be corrected. Yeah, that's what I get with this. Yeah.
I would be more in favor of saying transgender the trans. If we were going to change things, we should just say it's trans, because we already know in focus groups across the country about how people feel about the word transgender. People are more receptive to trans person over transgender person. It's really weird. So when you just take out and just say trans, it doesn't matter if somebody identifies as transsexual or transgender, they're just trans, right? And it's more unifying. So if there was going to be a change, that's the one I would like to see.
Yeah.
So we have $20 Canadian From Nelly Wilson, hashtag Team Ben. Can't wait to see your tweets, Josie. I see you. I see you, Nelly.
Well, and to reiterate for the audience, we have to get a total of 25 votes to even have somebody lose. So we need.
Really?
We're not even close to there yet. So we need a lot more votes in order for anyone to lose.
Does a fence sitter get both points then? Fence
No.
sitter gets one and one, right?
No,
Okay.
No hashtag, no
Okay.
vote. No hashtag, no vote. Everybody
Fine.
gets one vote.
Hashtag no vote.
Last week we made some exceptions. We were like, all right, if you do $50 or more in a single message, you can have 3 votes, and you can even do 3 separate ones if you want. And then we just made it up as we went along. Like $100 can have 5, and $500 can just pick the winner. I feel like it's kind of the truth of it. Yeah. But yeah, I think right now, because we have quite a few more chats to go through, but
All right.
based on how many votes there are in those chats, we're still at least, I don't know, we probably need at least 10 to 15 more votes.
Come on, people.
Chats with votes.
Let's do it.
At least $5 or more. I'm surprised nobody has
Gotta keep
tried
the
just
line
like
on.
sending multiple $5 chats, but I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, you can do that. That's allowed.
You're gonna game the system, huh? You're gonna teach
saying.
people how to rig the game? Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
that's it.
I'm all right with that. All right.
That's it. That's right.
Stuff the ballot box, people. Is this one me? No, I don't think this was. Yeah, I guess it is. $5 from Jessica Barboza. Cell service in Montana sucks. I hope that I can try to call in again next time. I love you all, and that darn Jimmy. Keep up the amazing work.
Well, thanks.
Wow, you even love Jimmy. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone needs love sometimes.
There was I just tweeted it out, but there was somebody who let me find it. Actually, I'll just read it to you because this person just does not like me. But the thing that I love about being so polarizing on the line is that it's kind of like, here's the best way I can explain it to people. The line is my channel, but I feel that as far as the concept of ownership goes, it changes when you get down to the shows. So like the line, my channel, the hang up is Matt's show. The transatlantic call-in show right now, you would say probably belongs to Ben, Katy, and Arden, but it's on the line. And so that's sort of where the differences are, as people are like trying to figure out what the dynamic is. And so some person wrote in, see Jimmy on this show, skip video, pull your head in, Jimmy, you sound like an arrogant cunt. You can be on the right side of the argument, which you always are, yet can be an absolutely obnoxious forkwit, which I loved that. Like, I love that they included that I am always on the right side of the argument. Like, there was a little just like, simp me harder, buddy. Anyway,
I know, that was sweet.
I wrote back, just thank you for supporting Jimmy's channel, but I did it as the line. So I just wrote, thanks for supporting Jimmy's channel. And then they wrote back, I have unsubbed, a lot have recently. Pull your head in, Jimmy. You're sounding like an absolute prick, which is also a weird thing to say because the channel's been growing like bananas lately.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah, and not only is our subscriber base growing, our channel, while it only has about 78,000 subscribers, if you actually look at it comparatively on what it performs at the level of a channel with roughly 250,000 subscribers that are still active and stuff. Anyway,
that's incredible.
I know, and I'm very proud of these people and what we've all built together. But I just responded to that with the whole unsub thing. Thank you for supporting Jimmy's channel by continuing to comment and pushing the algorithm to put his channel in front of more people. We really appreciate it. I'm just like,
I love it.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry, I go on tangents, but people don't understand. This is my entire social life, is hanging out with these people. Yeah. I don't do anything else. Anyway, here's another one.
20 Canadian from Kathleen Moncrief. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce your name right. Josie, you're awesome, but my hamster and guinea pigs have informed me that we are hashtag Team Ben and Pebbles over here. Yes, thank you for your support. I have a hamster, so she's sleeping because it's daytime, but someday she will be awake and I will show her. I thought I think maybe I showed her once, but I don't know. Maybe someday she'll wake up again and we can show her on the show.
I get it though. The fan base with the hamsters are strong.
Wait, I just thought of
well, normally it's all cat votes. Normally everyone's voting for cats, but for once I got like my 2 hamster people in the chat.
I just had a genius idea, I think. Do both of you have time? How long till you both?
I have time.
Okay.
I'm good.
I got time.
I'm open.
So look, here's the deal. It sounds like I'm about to freestyle again. Yo, look, here's the deal. Okay, I'm not going to though. No. But what if we say combined 25? That's how the punishment goes out. Combined 50, and they both do it.
I like that. I like that.
Combo of 50 points.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. All right. Let's see it, chat.
I like
Let's see it.
That means we got to do a lot. You got to bring them in. And you know, if somebody wants to do a $500 one, we'll just say they both do it now. So that's no worries. So a reminder to people who are watching, the punishment is whoever loses has to go on Twitter and start a tweet with one thing I really like about @MattWalsh blog. And Matt Walsh is the transphobic asshole who made the What is a Woman movie. If people aren't familiar with who he is, he's the cringiest motherfucker on that. He is if I was to make that tweet, I'm going to steal one. You can't use this. It would literally be like, one thing I actually do really like about @MashWalt blog is having an easy and obvious example of Dunning-Kruger. Like that's what I would go with. Like that's how I would do it. But you know, I'm sorry I stole it. Yeah, now you can't use that one. you gotta come up with your own. Anyway, did we read this one? We did. Okay, here's the next.
We did, yeah.
All right, 5. I think that's pounds, right? That's pounds. Okay, from Olivia Daw. #Team Josie, because I believe Ben has more tweet creativity than he thinks he does. I have to see this. I agree. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have a lot of confidence that it's maybe unwarranted, but that's fine. All right, we have 50 Swedish kroner from Puck Tholander. Fantastic discussion with Gender Critical. Thanks. Love Josie, but my vote for my Viking brother. #Team Torbjorn. Thank you so much for your support and for another Team Venus. Team Venus is doing all right so far, but we got to keep the gap going. We gotta grow the gap a little bit. Even will be fine with me.
Yeah, we need a ton more votes. Especially for both, and then we need at least quite a few more to get the 25 threshold passed.
All right, so we have 201 and 43.43 kronas from Naresh. The number is a Skyrim reference to hopefully get Jimmy's voice in Vala. I'm not even gonna try. Is checks for werewolf. You can imagine the twist about the companions being werewolves wasn't a surprise to me after I met Coldalac Whitemane. Wow, I'm so bad with like names like that. Thank you though. Jimmy, you got anything to say to that?
Yeah, I also based on the previous Skyrim games knew that it was going to be that they were going to be werewolves, but the number is a Skyrim reference was the thing that I didn't get, and I asked Naresh to at some point to clarify, and I forgot to look out for the reply, and now it's pretty lost. But I think that they're saying that 20143 is somehow and Skyrim came out in 2011, so it's not that. It came out on 11/11/11. I don't know. I'm missing it. I'm totally missing it. I'm sorry.
I love that. I love that they super chatted to get Jimmy's voice in here, as if Jimmy doesn't insert himself enough into the show.
People worry. What if they don't hear the omnipotent voice of Jimmy? At least
we're gonna worry. We send somebody to our house and be like, "Is Jimmy okay?" Like Jimmy hasn't said something in a whole 30 seconds, and I'm worried. I'm worried that something happened to him.
Oh, yes. 201 of the fourth era is the year it takes place. Duh. Thank you. Yeah. You're right. The 3 is what threw me. Okay, so I will tell you, because I love y'all and respect the purpose of this show so much, every other show, I will interrupt calls. This one, I only interrupt calls if the production's garbage.
Fair.
I appreciate the respect there.
Just feel like it would look bad if I started talking about trans issues over the trans panel. I just feel like that would the optics alone.
Yeah. It's like mansplaining on top of cisplaining. Oof, that hurts.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Josie, let me explain to you why that hurts the trans community. I'm just kidding. Anyway,
we have.
Sorry. I saw.
Yeah, there we go. Ben.
5 pounds from pancaking on. Do you draw a line at the number of genders? Does it help or hinder the cause? Also, if Jimmy lets me get away with 2 questions, what is your favorite odd food combo? I do not draw the line at the number of genders because it's really none of my business. Does it help or hinder the cause? Again, it's none of my business. Like, I don't think I should regulate somebody's identity, and whether people view that as harmful or whatever to the cause, it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Josie, I don't know what you think about that.
I agree, because gender is on a spectrum. So technically, if you could have a ton of points on that spectrum, and there's no way to quantify what that spectrum has limit and non-limit, so we wouldn't be able to know. So I agree. Does it hinder the movement? It depends on how people use the argument. For example, in my opinion, it is a fruitless cause to try to explain somebody else's identity, gender, if you don't represent that identity. So I really just boil it down to, are they trans or not? And if they are trans, then they deserve human rights. So it just really depends. You should never engage in an argument to like somebody to prove what Z gender means, right? Right. And it's like one of those things or the pronoun Z, right? Are they trans or are they not? It doesn't matter. If they're trans and they deserve human rights, don't even engage in pronoun arguments or what genders represent in that. Just, if they're trans, they're trans. Let's move on. That's how I look at it. And Jimmy, are you going to allow the second question, or they have to pay another 5 pounds?
There's only a 1 vote rule. There's nothing about, you can put as many words as the algorithm will let you, Google will let you put in the chat. I don't care. I want to participate in answering the second one. The first one, it would just be funny for me to answer. So I won't.
Fair.
Here's what I think is a cis man who's like kind of gross. Like, not just a cis man. I enjoy being masculine. I want to be not just perceived as a man, but like I toxically kind of like it, the implication that I'm manlier than other men, especially like right-wing men, who I love to emasculate right-wing men by pointing out that I'm much tougher than they are. Like, I don't know. It's gross. It's a little toxic. But anyway, favorite odd food combos. This one I want to do. Which one? What about you two?
Go first.
Oh, I'm trying to think of any that are actually weird. Because, I mean, I put, like, ranch and hot sauce on, like, pretty much everything. But, like, that's not weird.
What's the weird? What's the thing that we would immediately go like? Like, I think dipping pizza in ranch is a bit silly. Because I think there's so much to enjoy about pizza. There's so much to enjoy about pizza that ranch, like,
pizza
overwhelms
and ranch
it.
is absolutely delicious.
The whole slice?
How dare you?
The whole slice or just the crust?
The whole
both.
thing.
It depends.
See,
Look,
the whole thing.
I'm not going to tell you you're like wrong or shit. I'm the person who says, what do you think of pineapple on pizza? And I'll tell people, like, if you want it on your half, get it on your half. I don't even care if it gets a little bit onto my half, but it doesn't bother me. Eat what you want to eat. The thing that is so strange to me about putting ranch in pizza is pizza's already so many flavors. It's like, you got the bread, which hopefully you got it from a place that the crust is an experience. And then you've got the sauce, which is supposed to be a good experience.
Flavors.
That's what I'm saying. It's too many flavors. Okay,
No, and that's why I love
get a
it.
good
I don't
vegan ranch.
see why this is weird. That's fine. That's fine. That I'll use that as a weird food thing then. But
Is this,
it's
is
not
this the
weird.
new mayo? Is this the new mayo controversy?
No, but I like ranch.
New mayo controversy.
I like ranch. I just don't think I ever combine more than like 4 or 5 things, and that's if I'm going crazy on any food. It's like 3 things. Is my most common burrito from Chipotle is just meat, cheese, or meat, rice, and the tortilla. And then sometimes I'll feel a little crazy and I'll add shredded cheese and red salsa to it. But that's it. That's where I stop. It's just so wild to me that somebody would overwhelm, because ranch is so strong, isn't it? Am I wrong though? Like ranch overwhelms all the other flavors.
Yeah, it's not like an all the time on every pizza item. It's like if you're in the mood for it, you can get it. Yeah. Like if I'm at a good pizza place and there's like a nice vegan ranch, hell yeah, I'm gonna get it, because I don't get a lot of vegan ranch all the time.
I feel like it takes a piece of pizza. Okay, maybe this.
And it depends on what's on the pizza. It depends on what's on the pizza too.
That's a good point. Ben. I think I wouldn't do it unless I was like, ugh, this is pretty mediocre pizza, but at least the ranch will just wash it out.
Buffalo pizza. So like the the chicken with the buffalo sauce on just the pizza stuff.
And then a ranch drizzle.
Come on.
Sure.
Yeah.
A drizzle though.
Yeah, so you do. So you agree that ranch on pizza can be good.
A ranch
we won.
Gold pizza. A pizza with a ranch goal I get. And I'm talking a drizzle though in that scenario where ranch is a component. I feel like dipping in ranch, again, it just becomes a ranch delivery system. Am I fucking crazy on this? Does anyone agree with me? I'm like,
you have so many weird definitions and criteria for like what you need to eat, and I'm just like, food. I like food. Food's good.
Oh no, I know. I am a stereotypical autistic eater, but
I'm a human trash can. So I'm in the army. Like I'm in the army. I can't be that picky with food.
I don't know. I don't get why. Okay, what's your favorite thing with ranch? Do you at least have that? Is there something where you're like, obviously a potato thing is the best way to get ranch in your body? Or is it just you like it on anything?
The best way to have ranch is with something with chicken. Like chicken strips. Okay. This is like the best thing with ranch.
Okay. I was about to say like because I'm vegan, but I still do chicken pizza, but with vegan chicken. But like a vegan chicken mushroom, right? Like like that would be great. It depends on how, like especially if it's a buffalo pizza. Like I want the ranch, like just like you, Jimmy. Just
I love how this is just evolved into a ranch debate.
Just a drizzle. But by the way, I wasn't trying to be the like super controversial, like, ew, ranch disgusting, like y'all do with the mayo and stuff. I'm here to hear y'all out. I just can't reason myself into like, I like pizza. I like ranch. There are probably like crusts that aren't very good that if I had ranch, I'd dip it in. Like Little Caesar's crust isn't very good. I'd probably dip that in ranch, but not the actual pizza part. I wouldn't. I don't know. Anyway,
Josie, what's your weird
I feel really
food
oppressed
combo
here.
Before we get
we
completely derail the bullshit.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot of food combos, really, other than I like soy sauce on things sometimes, and it's like, why are you putting soy sauce on that? And I'm like, I don't know. I think it needed it, right? So I'll throw it in like random dishes just to get the amount, like the flavor, get that smoky like soy flavor.
Give us a random dish you put it in that we'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh man, you know what?
Mashed
this
potatoes.
Is like such a bachelorette meal, but like I will totally do like rice and like I guess it's not too bad. Like rice, broccoli, and I will just like throw soy sauce on it without anything else. It'll just be like steamed broccoli and rice, and I'll just throw a little soy sauce on there. Like so that's kind of how I think about that.
I don't like soy sauce ever, but that's just my taste. So my actual weird food combo that I think is just more like silly to watch me eat. And I haven't done it in years, but I did it a ton as a teenager. It's like a pastime that I can still taste because I loved it so much. You take like 3 club crackers and you'd stack them, and then I'd put them in my mouth whole in between my teeth, and then I would put melon Powerade in my mouth and let it soak into the crackers in my mouth, and then I'd mash through, and it was both so satisfying, like the feeling of mashing through, but then the club cracker melon Powerade combo flavor is oddly amazing. It's tremendous.
Am I gonna have to do this on this show sometime?
I would love that.
Crackers and Powerade, melon Powerade.
Do they still do melon?
I would try that.
Do they still do the green Powerade, the melon Powerade? Does that still exist?
I haven't seen it, but probably.
I've done it with orange too, and orange is pretty good, but melon's the best.
Okay, that's a future punishment.
It's not a punishment.
All right,
no, here's the thing. It's not a punishment though.
It's a punishment.
The other punishments where we were like surprised that the pickle peanut butter or whatever thing wasn't that bad for Arden, where she's like, actually, I can tolerate this. That one was at least surprising. This one only tastes good. I think everybody would like it.
I would eat pickle peanut butter. That sounds all right. That doesn't sound too bad. Maybe that's my odd combination.
There you go. I won't eat anything with pickles, period, though.
Yeah,
anyway, I'm sorry for the 20 minutes we just did on that. Or whatever it was.
Oh, my friend is betraying me. Rude, Amit.
Oh, love it. $10 from Amit Matthew. Love this show. Thank you for educating me as always. Hashtag Team Josie, because I want to see Ben struggle to come up with that tweet. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Okay, here we go.
20 Canadian from Aaron. Some good conversations today. Looking forward to the tweets. Hashtag Team Ben. Thank you for the support for Team Ben.
It's neck and neck.
It's neck and neck, but we still need more to even get the punishment. So we might be off the hook.
Well,
this
I think
week.
Bean needs 5, right? I think you just broke this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it takes me a second. Would either of you freestyle if someone sent $100 chat?
No.
I could try it.
Because I'm incapable.
For $100.
Oh yeah.
For $100, I could do it, but it would be bad. But I'll do it for $100.
I feel like I used to. So I'm not kidding. I used to in Wyoming. So keep in mind why I thought it was a good idea, because I'm a cis white guy in Wyoming. But in college, we did tons of freestyle battles. I wasn't bad at it.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice. I'm good at like coming up with like poetry and words like that.
Yeah.
So 110 krona from Naresh. I saw people talk about their age here, so I will use this opportunity to say I'm 20 and very, very lonely. Oh, hope that you find some people. Naresh, you have us.
Naresh, if it makes you feel any better, I'm 32 and very, very lonely. I feel this in my bones.
I'm also lonely.
It's
all
tough.
The lonely people come here.
I feel like the harder you work too, the harder, like, I have to imagine, Ben, you and I experience a similar loneliness where, like, we know we have friends. Ben can call me on my phone anytime. I could call Ben anytime. Like, it's not that we don't have that. It's that we work our asses off okay, I'm just going to speak for myself and you can say if I agree. I won't keep saying we, but I work my ass off all day. And then there's this sort of end of the day moment where, because my house is also my production studio, it's also a large building. And so I just have this end of day where I turn everything off and suddenly I'm in a giant empty house all alone and everything's quiet and the loneliness just crushes down on you. And you're like, I'm doing all this work and I'm trying so hard to build something and I don't have someone to share it with. It's really sad.
Just call
I feel that too.
Call people.
I feel that too. That's why I got a hamster. I have a hamster, but she doesn't understand me. Yeah, no, I feel the same thing, but because my hamster doesn't understand me, but at least she alleviates some of it. I guess.
I have a dog. And Josie, I think you said as my headphones were being unplugged, I should just call people. This is usually at like 3 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you at 3 a.m.
Well, I'm just saying.
I love you, Jimmy, but I'm not responding at 3 a.m.
I'm not trying to
Jimmy,
fish
like,
for affection.
You just got to think about it, like, you know, you spend so much of yourself giving so much energy to other people. You should take that moment to like do the self-reflection. Like, I sometimes feel like because I do a lot of work and I'm all over the place and I do a lot of things, but sometimes when you get that moment, I'm just like, okay, this is the moment I need to start working on myself or meditate or thinking, right? Just, you don't look at it as a negative. Look at it as this is a possibility for you to grow at a certain moment. I don't know. Maybe it's too woo-woo, but that's what I do.
See, the funny thing is like, in the last few months, boy, I'm just going to use y'all as therapy, but in the last, it's gotten harder the happier I am generally with life. Like in the last few months, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm fucking killing it in like every angle of life. But other than that, like therapy's going really well. The show's going really well. I'm getting to woodwork more often, like all the things I want. And so then like, I'll like make like a really pretty box and I'll finish and I'll put the finish on and then I'll like bring it inside to Cure. And I'm like, God, I just want to show someone in person, like not just post it to Instagram and them just be like, oh, that's a really cool, like you get something out of that, but you just want to bring someone to it and they be like genuinely admire what you did. And I don't know, it's a whole thing that I just was trying to express that I understand the crushing loneliness and that I think Ben, Naresh, and I probably could start a lonely fan club and we'd still be alone.
Lonely.
We'd be doing it together and still be alone.
Can we start the domain Lonely Fans?
Yes!
That's the best thing you've ever said.
That's $1 million idea.
Oh my God. Fans. I have to see if it's taken before somebody else takes it.
It's already too late. Somebody's already done it. It's gone. It's gone. Do it. Hurry. Find it now. Domain.
That's so funny, Ben. That is so fucking funny. That's the best thing. I've always found Ben funny, but that's a different level. Channel. Hang on, I'm
I don't always knock it out of the park, but sometimes my loneliness, gets to me a little bit.
Let me see.
Sometimes the loneliness.
Damn it, somebody has it. Somebody owns it.
Of course. No.
It's probably gonna be one of those fucking like. Let me go
bought
look.
It to sell it to you later.
Yeah, exactly. That's like always the case. Wait. Show more.
So go get it. We'll go find it. We'll go find who's selling it.
Oh no. This is the problem. I just wanted to have something close to theline.com. Everything remotely close to it is taken by that sort of thing. Like, and it's thousands of dollars they're trying to get out of you. So like calltheline.com, it was like $8,000 plus a broker's fee or something crazy like that.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, sorry, I've once again distracted everybody.
The next one.
Oh yeah,
next one.
You need me to rotate it?
$10 from Madison. First time watching this live. Thank you for the show and for taking people's calls, both the supportive and the critical ones. # Team Josie. Thank you for watching. Yay. It's great having new people in the side chat for the first time. And thank you for the super chat. We greatly appreciate it. Even though it does tie us, but that's fine. I'll let it slide this time.
Yeah.
Ties are kind of more fun because of the suspense. Blowouts make me feel bad because I worry that whoever's losing by a lot, maybe it's making them feel bad. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's what competition's all about. All right, Swedish 69 Swedish krona. What is it? Swedish krona? Is that what it is? From Robin Telstig. My support to the best show on the line. It's a hard vote today, but I love you both. My vote goes to Team Josie in the hope that she will be back soon. I hope so too, Robin.
Yeah, we all want her back. So I'll let you vote for Team Josie so that we can have her back.
Not only do we want her back, it felt like a void how long we couldn't have her.
I know.
Yeah, right?
I
missed you though so much.
I
missed all of you.
I missed you more because I didn't have the good drugs that I'm sure you had.
That's true. That's true.
Those are probably awesome.
I wish I had more at times though. Stuff hurts.
All the time. I get it.
All the time.
$5 from Dylan Fooler. This may be a more NB thing, but is there a way you describe your gender that would confuse a cis person? Also, # Team Ben because fellow trans mask. Hell yeah, the vote for the trans mask. And I don't know if it's ever been difficult really for me to describe my gender, because I see myself as a binary trans man. So I don't find it very difficult to communicate. I don't know about Josie.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, if the person isn't open to it, they're gonna be confused. And it's one of those things, if they're confused and they're open to understanding, then you can alleviate their confusion. But there are some people who are just like, I'm always confused by non-binary, so anything you say doesn't make sense to me. So it's another open-minded situation. But if you find an open-minded confused person, then educate them. 1999 from Clayton Smith. Someone please start freestyling. Hashtag Team Venus.
Yeah, Venus.
I feel like we didn't really meet the $100. That was sort of $100. I'll give you let me think. What rhymes good? Yeah, we are a great crew. Nothing comes between us. Dude's almost a doctor. Paging Dr. Bean us. Ashes to ashes. Pocket full of posies. When I vote for president, I'm voting for Josie. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Dang!
That's it for the rest of the night.
So good at this. That's so good, though.
Thank you. That's sweet of you.
Yes.
I have so many talents I don't show off on air ever.
I was
I'm only
worried
a
you were
little
gonna
good
pick
at any of
something
it.
else to rhyme with. I was worried you're gonna pick something else to rhyme with Venus. But, I mean,
I have a little bit more class than that, Ben.
oh really? Okay.
A little more. Not much though. I was assuming they were asking for a freestyle with Venus in it. I did say team.
Oh yeah, with Venus, right?
But I just covered you both. It's all good.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, that works. That works.
Is this the one we just? Yeah, this is the one we just read. So now this one.
Next one, 50 Czech kroner from Naresh. Cheap one this time. Sorry. Czech Karuna being crown, so you can call them Czech crowns.
Ah, cool. Czech crowns.
Thanks for the education.
Yeah. $10 from Hedonista75. It is my birthday, so I'm donating to you badass people. Keep up the essential work. Well, happy birthday, and thank you for joining us and giving us $10. Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving us money on your birthday, and I feel like that's a little bit backwards, but we appreciate it. Thank you.
Y'all can come up with my rapper name in the chat. Someone already started with Lil Jim X.
Oh no!
It's so good.
666 from Quagma TV. Hashtag Team Ben. If you could eat any extinct animal, dinosaur or not, what would you choose and why? And what do you think it would taste like? Well, I mean, Josie's a vegan, so I don't know if maybe you can pick an extinct plant. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Dodos probably would taste good.
Yeah, I bet they probably would. I will say though, because in the prehistoric ages, there was a lot more oxygen in the air, so things were a lot bigger. Like, give me a giant cherry. Like, I just want a cherry the size of my head, and I just want to eat that.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, $5 from All Things Considered. Hashtag Team Venus making a comeback here. Overthrowing it. Yeah.
They all just want to see you tweet.
That's what it
Which
is.
is understandable, because I want to see you tweet too.
You. I know.
I feel like I influenced it a little bit because I, at the beginning, said I wanted to see Josie do it too. But they did even it out.
There's one objectively right answer.
Yes. And I will say I'm okay with democratic elections. I abide by the results of these things.
Well, Lucky, this is actually a separate one. It looks like it is from the same person, but she voted twice for both of you.
Yeah,
$5 from All Things Considered. Hashtag Team Josie for P. Yeah.
Yeah, Josie for P.
They did the vote for Josie for P. That's going to be featured on our Lonely Fans.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
$5 from Amit Matthews. Hashtag Team Ben because Momos. Looks
Oh yeah,
like
I sent him
Amit got you back.
Nepali. Yeah, because I had some Nepali momos the other day, like the dumplings,
Oh,
and they're so good. And I sent Amit a picture and made him jealous. So
oh, that sounds so good.
very good. Thanks, Amit. Thank you for reversing your betrayal.
Yeah. You've neutralized
Only
it.
kind of hate you now.
You're
You've
now-
neutralized.
You're back to the
yeah.
fence, basically. Apparently, Quagman TV had
Thank you,
wanted me to
Fencer.
also answer which extinct animal, dinosaur or not, would you choose? I'd probably try it's not dinosaur. You said dinosaur or not. I'd probably try dodo, because chickens are more
you're on
delicious
dodo
than
as well.
turkeys, and I assume that's because they're so much more stupid. So then a dodo is even more stupid than a chicken, and then I guess I'd go with a dodo. Did you say you had chosen dodo as well?
Yeah, I
think
chose
that's what
dodo.
Ben chose.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wasn't paying
yeah.
attention, I guess, when I was probably looking at people's rap names. Yeah, I'd go dodo for sure.
Yeah, and trying to buy lonely fans.
Hell
Yeah.
Try the new Popeyes dodo sandwich.
$4.99 from Brinpoo KC. Hashtag Team Dr. Ben. Another one for me. Thank you
Yeah.
for the support. And we're getting closer. We're getting closer to having to do it.
Yes.
Check this out, though.
$5
Oh.
from Amit Matthews. Hashtag Team Josie because I can't be a fence sitter and still want to see Ben struggle. Blame Jimmy for giving me the idea of multiple tiny super chats. Stuff that ballot. Stuff that box.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sharing my momos with you. I mean, I wasn't going to share them anyway, but now I'm going to share them even less. So
I demand an
I'm going to
audit
send you more
of the
videos
vote.
of me eating.
We need to test the super chats for traces of bamboo, because why not make it also racist the way the those assholes
Oh
did?
yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Exactly.
I've
Yeah.
heard, you do all
Bamboo
know that
powder.
Chinese paper is just regular paper, right? Like, they're like, you know what we'll find in Chinese paper ballots? Bamboo. You fucking
Because there's-
idiots.
I know bamboo fibers. They're just in the air. They're just
Right,
floating
they're just
in the
chilling
air.
around.
They're
They're just chilling
just
around.
chilling around.
They run up, they steal them from pandas, and they put them in their paper.
I blame the pandas. They're just kicking up freaking bamboo fibers across the country.
Oh my god, people are so stupid. Why? How is the world still a thing? It's time to move on. Have you accepted that Jon Stewart's not going to run for president yet?
No, I haven't accepted it yet until
Okay.
Biden says he runs.
Oh, gotcha. Until Biden drops out, you mean?
No, I still think it's gonna be Biden Trump.
Oh, right. Yeah, I still think it's DeSantis Newsom. And that's starting to look, my Republican ticket side is looking more and more likely every day. Trump is not growing a base. He is sinking.
I know how Republican primaries work though. And that's where he wins.
I'm aware that he could pull it. He could Jeb Ron. He could do unto Ron that which he did unto Jeb. But I don't know. I think people are getting like, I think there's a distinct enough number of people that are like, Trump, it's time to like let the next guy go. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
You know Colts better than anybody, and the leader hasn't fallen yet, so therefore they still believe in him.
That's a good point. There's not a lot of cults that like they start following the new leader before the old one dies. So am I saying that, maybe Mother Nature also will take its course? I don't know. Trump is so old. Why are we even assuming he'll be an option? He's so old, and he gets IV lines filled with cheeseburgers every day for breakfast. That guy eats worse than me, and that's hard to do. Holy shit.
That's presidential medicine, though.
Sometimes I'll get to the end of the day eating all the shit I eat and be like, oh, I might not survive the night. I might not make it through this. And this guy's getting up at 3 a.m, tweeting his hater, or truth socialing his haters, I guess, anymore. Anyway, sorry, I'll be quiet now. Here's one from Nilly
All right,
Wilson.
is this one? I think this one's no. This one's you, Ben. I think, isn't it?
I
Because
think
I
so,
read
yeah.
it neat.
5 Canadian from Nilly Wilson. You should both reply to each other's tweets to get a chain of what I love about Matt Walsh going and start a nice Twitter trend hashtag Team Josie. That would actually be really funny.
Love that. That's actually funny. That's great.
All of the TACIS
that's
hosts,
pretty
like, we'll
good.
get Katy and Arden in on this too, and
That'd
just
be
start.
great.
Yes.
But
We should just do that.
We gotta get to that
all
combo
you in
of
chat
50.
Better do it.
we got to get to that combo of 50 points. And right now we're gonna break 25. It looks like, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're at least another 20 or more votes away from breaking 50.
Well,
for
remember,
the double.
50 is we both do individual
Exactly.
tweets, but maybe we can be a good sport, and the person that gets first has to reply with the same to the person's other tweet.
Josie,
How about
Josie, let me teach you a lesson about YouTube and how you don't give away things for free. So here's the thing.
I'm not. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Scratch that.
It's like, look, there's lots of things we could do. I could just go on the internet and show my feet, or I can put dollars in ahead of it, and we can run the goddamn company.
There you
Anyways.
go.
Here's your next one. Oh shit, it broke. 1 second. Okay, now here's the next one.
Why are you breaking it?
5 pounds. 5 pounds from Grimbeard. One thing I like about Matt Walsh is his beard. Most CTS on the internet are shaved. Team Super Substitute Ben. Is that? Wait, am I super? No, you're a substitute Ben. Yeah, that's right. You are the substitute technically. All right.
Because I was supposed to be Arden. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Arden. Yeah, I got it.
That is the most wholesome way I've ever heard someone censor the word cunts before.
Yeah. Especially someone using British pounds. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Because that word just
Doesn't mean the same thing.
yeah.
It's very commonly, and in Australia, it's what makes me yearn for my homeland, according to 23andMe, and my mother's obnoxious accent.
$5 from
song.
James Call.
Y'all hear this?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Damn.
We got $5 from James Call. I don't know, Josie. How much do you like mayonnaise?
Oh, see, I don't really like mayonnaise that much. Sometimes I'll like a vegan-aise, but outside of that, I'm indifferent.
I'm sort of that way with I love an aioli, but mayonnaise I'm very picky with what I like mayonnaise on.
Yeah, exactly. It can be a good ingredient to things. All right, $4.99 from Nickel US or us Nickel us Nickel. Okay, I get it now. Gotta go with my boy Team Venus, but Josie is going to rock those tweets. Thank you for the moral support of my downfall. All right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who ends up losing this today.
Man, we are 3 points away from 25.
Yeah. $4.99 again from Nicholas. Also, as a Marie, I gotta go against Navy. Hashtag. Oh, you're a Marine. Okay. Hashtag Team Bem. I don't know who Bem is, but I'm counting it as me. And also, go Army, sink Navy. That's all. I gotta say here.
I wonder which Nicholas, which typo was more unfortunate, that you called yourself a Marie or called Ben Bem? Which one's? I can't imagine a lot of Marines loving to be called a Marie, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start calling Marines Marie.
I kind of wanted to. I wanted to. I
start doing it.
Obviously, I know several people in the military I like and respect. The two of you. My brother was in the military. One of them that I love. One of them that I hate. My dad. I come from a military family. But there's a lot of toxic right-wing people in the military, and I just enjoy emasculating them. And it seems like calling Marines Maries would be a lot of fun.
And I would, and I just want to say to Nicholas, you have to remember, if the Navy goes away, so does the paychecks for the Marines. So I mean,
yeah, Daddy Navy. Daddy Navy.
I just realized, as you said Nicholas, I realized that it's a pun for Nicholas.
Nicholas,
yeah, I get it now. I did not get it before this moment.
5. Or I just read the last one, so it's you.
Oh, is it $5 from Melissa?
Yeah.
When my fellow reactor operator. Speaking of beauty pageants, I tried searching for Vietnamese trans women and only found myself, Robin Tran, and pregnant queens. Josie, hashtag Josie and the Pussycats. Pageant queens. Pageant. Sorry, I'm dyslexic.
We're getting super close.
We are so close.
€5 from Yasmin Meadowflower. Trans hashtag Team Mayo hashtag flowers.
Ooh, who gets Team
Arden's
Mayo?
not here, so that's usually Arden. I'm the person that likes mayo the most in this room.
That's fair.
I think that's
but it's still not my
intended for
official
Ben.
team.
It seems
probably.
I could be wrong. It seems intended for you.
Yeah, fine. Charity.
To the charity, yeah. I need the charity.
The person in the lead needs the charity.
$4.99 from Brian Pooh KC. Bryn Pooh, thank you. I always get barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce on pizza. That's an interesting choice.
Too tangy.
It's not a bad choice.
No, it's a pretty bad choice.
Depends.
I bet Bryn likes.
Depends on what's on the pizza.
I guarantee you onions, right? And I don't like onions.
Onions, maybe some like shredded beef type meat like stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. A pulled pork pizza could be interesting. I don't eat pork anymore, but
it's so good.
It's
so good.
Jackfruit.
I can imagine
Just use jackfruit.
Vegan alternatives do not taste the same.
Think of it as
no
food.
matter how much.
It's not, but that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to compare it to something,
which is why I won't bother.
So
I'll just stick with the food I can.
If you just think the food is tasty, that's all that matters. Why does he have to compare it?
Well, what I'm saying is,
look.
If I miss pulled pork,
do trans women really need to be cis? Is that
if I miss pulled pork, I'll just keep missing it. I won't. I'm not going to try and fill the void with jackfruit. I don't know. That's not how I roll.
Yes, everyone, fill your voids with jackfruit.
Oh
Take
my!
That
that's a big.
That's a
jackfruit's the biggest fruit on the planet.
It's the biggest fruit on the planet.
That's a big void filler.
And that would be impressive.
Yeah.
$4.99 from Nicholas. Also, hashtag Team Venus for filling in on a moment's notice. Don't know what I'd do without TACIS. Yeah, I'm always happy to be here. I love doing this show and making stupid jokes with Jimmy and whoever else is here about filling your voids with jackfruit.
Rule 34, my friend. Hey, I'm gonna close the chat voting in about a minute. So right now, worth 1 point. Everybody gets to vote in it. Team Ben versus Team Josie. You've got about a minute left before I close that out. It's currently 52%, 48% going to Ben at the moment. So you got about a minute left if you wanna try and rock the vote at all on just that vote. But we still have super chats to go. Did I? Yes, I did give the point. Yep.
110 Czech crowns, right? Okay. From Naresh. They say, is this a music? Am I supposed to be musical? They say that what you are is what you eat. They write, and I eat so much. P-word, I'm the most a wood elf, but I am a Kajati. Liar, liar, by my I don't know the words. But I tried, Naresh. I tried.
Khajiit is the that was adorable.
I tried.
It reminds me of one that Klaus did on American Dad, where he was rapping. He was like, "They say you are what you eat, but I eat pussy, so I'm a vagina." It was something like it, but in his like German voice. Anyway, it's wet ass P word.
5 Canadian from Nilly Wilson. Ben doing Jimmy's food combo. Please also, Jimmy, you could do a whole show on controversial things you don't like. You had me reeling. Hashtag Team Josie.
I wasn't even trying to make anyone laugh. I was just being me. Oh, the things I never intend to be funny end up being the funniest.
That's usually how it works. Yeah.
God, y'all got to start inviting
trying.
me
Yeah.
Invite me to give eulogies.
Makes it
They'll be
less
hilarious. Yeah.
Oh no.
Maybe. This is new, right? Oh no, it's not. Sorry.
No.
Okay.
No, we just did that
There's
one.
your next one.
$4.99 from is it Brenpoo, KC, and a vote for hashtag Ben. I'm gonna have to really think about what my tweet is gonna be. I gotta think about it. I'm already like spinning my wheels.
All right, so close that vote.
Yeah,
that gets
same.
1 point for Ben. We're up there. So just so everybody understands, this is not an unachievable goal. At the moment,
That's true.
we're at 29 combined points, which means we need 21 more points for both of them to have to do it. At the moment, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more chats that are coming in with votes. So that takes us down to 15. If 15 more people vote $5 or more, both of them have to send a seemingly beginning nice tweet at Matt Walsh. I'm just saying, we only need 15 more. This is doable. We can.
It is.
We can do it.
Unfortunately, it is doable.
Yes, we can make them both lose.
Unfortunately.
This
This
is
one's
a
you,
new
Ben.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
1999 from Claire. Ranch adds nothing to pizza. Pizza has enough fat, salt, garlic, and spices. Ranch is made for food that needs more, like vegetables or chicken. Pizza's not meant to be eaten with condiments. That's why they put sauce and cheese. No, but there's different spices in the pizza and in the ranch. So you're adding new flavors to the already existing flavors. This is like the people that are saying like you don't need to add, like, sure, pizza's fine on its own, but the presence of spices does not mean you should not have more. Like we don't need to limit ourselves. We have the potential
That's
for
true.
great things.
You're arguing with someone who voted for you, by the way.
Yes. So, let's get the next
Yeah,
one.
hashtag Ben. They voted for me, but I still disagree with them.
I agree
still
with
fair,
them completely.
fair.
I totally agree.
$4.99 from Nicholas. There's a lot in common that we all share between us, but sorry, still voting for Team Venus. I see you.
That was their little freestyle.
Their little freestyle.
That was their.
Yeah.
Maybe
Love
Ben
that.
should
I
freestyle
love
it.
Try it.
It would
Try
not
it.
even be. It would not even be able to be defined as freestyle because it would just be garbage.
You're just reading. Just read rhythmically.
Yeah, I just read rhythmically.
It's okay. You don't have to.
That's gonna be even worse.
You're like,
Now, because now I'm overthinking it.
you feel exposed.
Yeah.
I get it. It's all good.
$10.
Yeah.
Yeah. $10 from Dimitri Missier. Sorry, Dimitri Missier. Thank you for the pronunciation. That helps me a lot. My friend found that he is not non-binary, but a trans man. It was maybe 2 weeks ago and are already planning top surgery. I'm worried it's too soon to jump the gun. Advice for a cis friend. I'll let you get this one, Ben.
Yeah. So my advice would be to wait a little bit for top surgery because, like, not just because of doing a permanent thing to yourself, but like you can do top surgery before you start on hormones, but the surgeries you're eligible for might be different depending on like if you started or not, because your fat percentage and your fat distribution is going to change. So you might find, like, depending on what size you are, you might be borderline between a double incision mastectomy versus like a keyhole or something like that. And so you might be able to, depending on how your fat moves, you might be able to do a less invasive procedure. So I kind of recommend, like, see how your body does on hormones first and see because you have no idea how your body's going to change, and you might change your mind in what you want to do. So that's kind of my advice. But if you are in so much distress that this is like the thing keeping you in a depressed state and keeping your dysphoria so bad, then you might need to do the top surgery sooner. But it all depends on your risk and what you're getting from it and all of that. So if they have questions about that, like, they should talk to their surgeon and see like what their best option is. That would be my recommendation.
Wouldn't you say though too, like, because when I'm reading the question, there's something that's sort of missing there. Isn't it true that even if they've only identified as a trans man for the couple of weeks, that doesn't mean that their top dysphoria started then, that it could have been a part of their non-binary journey. I have non-binary friends who have gotten top surgery and they're still non-binary.
Well, no, and they could, but it's just like a matter of like, if they're planning on doing other things as well.
Yeah.
It depends on, like, because that might change things.
Yeah.
If they did want to do HRT. So
definitely find a surgeon that will have that conversation with them for sure, or him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also I imagine, you can correct me, isn't there not a lot of surgeons who, even if it's only been 2 weeks as a trans man, doesn't mean that they're going to get in next
it takes
weekend.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
I'm basically just sitting here going like, I'm assuming, Dimitri says they're a cis friend, and I was like, oh, I think I know as the cis person what things you're probably missing, because they're the things I used to miss. That's why I was trying to add some questions to y'all for context. But anyway, I'll stop cis-splaining now.
I think this one's you, Ben.
$6 from Hedonista75. My birthday present will be watching Ben compose those tweets. #Team Josie.
That's right.
We'll see.
Thank you.
We got a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
So...
Well, there's two ways this can happen. Because now we're up to 32 points.
True.
So there's two ways that Ben has to do this. Either 8 points come in for Josie but not Ben, or 7 points come in for Josie but not Ben, or a total of 18 points for either of them happen, and they both have to do it. So I'm just reminding the chat right now, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 more votes of the 5 next super chats total, which puts us at 14 away. If we got 14 more votes with super chats, they both got to do it. I'm just saying.
Let's do it.
It's true. That's true.
Oh, I need to add the one for Josie, actually. I think I didn't do that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, you did it. Don't rob me.
Sorry.
I have so little.
I'm sorry.
£5 from Bromalam.
Bromalam.
Thank you. See, I'm bad with names. It's a dyslexia thing, I think.
But we also know these people. We've had them a bunch of times. Brom has called into the show before, all that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fair. #team refuse to host. What?
To choose.
Host?
Refuse to choose.
Oh my gosh, thank you. See, dyslexia. It sucks. I'm a sociologist. Jimmy, can you pass my email through Aaron Ben X?
Yeah, shoot me like a DM on Twitter or Instagram to find, and just tell me which email address I'm looking for. But I'll tell you, it's just aronra@gmail.com. Ben, do you have a public email?
I can get that. See, I don't have like a public one. Maybe I should.
You should make a public one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely send me the DM on Twitter, because that's how I'm going to communicate with Ben too. So yeah, shoot that through to remind me of and help me know what to look for. Anyway, here's the next one.
$4.99 from Nicholas. Most unfortunate typo, Marine. Yeah, another chance to vote. #Team Venus. Good tactic, Jimmy.
Thank you.
No, I agree that calling them Marie is a great tactic.
It's hilarious.
Them Marines are funny to talk to sometimes.
I think Nicholas is saying the good tactic is me making Nicholas vote again to send another super chat.
I think they're
clarify.
both good tactics. I think they're both good tactics, though.
I just feel seen. I like that. I like somebody respecting my game.
$10 from James Call. Josie kind of pulled away the thought of mayo. Hashtag Venus. Oh, it was my reluctance. That's what it was.
Too polarizing.
Too polarizing.
Too polarizing.
That's
yeah.
what I get for fence sitting. Fence sitting never wins, everybody. Remember that.
That's right.
$5 from Quagma TV. Hashtag Team Ben. Punishment idea: cheese whiz, chocolate, and watermelon. Enjoy. I would do that. I don't have a problem with
this. Is you know why I know this is a bad one? And I'm sorry, Quagma TV. Obviously, you support a lot, and I'm sorry to call you out. I know this is a bad one because I would do that. I can't eat almost anything. I have and I feel like not only would I eat this, there's a chance I'd like it.
Oh, I probably like it. I probably like this. Yeah.
You probably want the chocolate to be a little bit of a darker chocolate, right? You'd put it on the watermelon first, maybe something that makes a bit of a shell, and then you put the cheese whiz on top of that. That's the right order of those flavors. That actually sounds kind of good.
You know, it could. It has the possibility of having that sweet, tangy taste. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it. So I'm sorry, Quagma TV. That one sucks. It's not a punishment.
I would hate it. $5 from Justin Cook. Advice on defending and supporting my trans students' public school when they live in a vast sea of bigotry. I love them and I want the best for them. Oh, Justin, this is a tough question considering that a lot of laws are changing across the state. So first, don't get yourself in trouble. That's one thing, and just try to make sure that, because if they lose you because you're in trouble and you leave your classroom, then that's going to hurt as well. So in reality, like, know what you can do, but also just make sure, like, you know, you're an accepting classroom, and just let them know that you're open to be able to communicate. Because I know when I was young as a student, I confided in teachers too, and some students just need to know that it's a safe space. And, you know, it's a tough question. Ben, do you have anything to add on that?
I think this would be great for a call, maybe, to go more in the depth about what do you do when the law changes and supporting trans people is illegal. I think that could be a very good discussion that we could have about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wish we had more time, Justin.
Mm-hmm. Hey, do y'all use LOL?
Yes.
In text and stuff? I haven't for the last 15 years when it started to emerge. I haven't. And now that I've noticed no one uses it anymore, suddenly I feel the desire to use it.
It's a millennial thing. It's a millennial thing, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like ancient.
I've started lolling in just the last like 2 weeks for the first time. Anyway, there's no reason I asked that. Here's another one.
Do this, you, Ben.
It's me.
Isn't it?
$5 from Quagma TV. Hashtag Team Ben. If you could be any monster, what would you prefer? Examples: Frankenstein, vampire, werewolf. I guess I'd be a slime, genderless, and shapeshifting. I'd be a
monster.
Would like the half goat, half person thing. Yeah.
Oh,
because they're cute.
Okay. Yeah. I
could still basically be me, like Goat Boy.
Yeah. You know, if I'm gonna be a monster, I'm probably just gonna go for straight like Queen of Hell status, because that would work. If I'm just gonna go monster, that's what I'm gonna do.
I was just gonna say a shapeshifter. I'm pretty sure like that's a category of monster. Like they often are.
Yeah,
it is.
I was gonna do shapeshifter, but that's like so trans. Like I have always wanted to be a shapeshifter.
Sure. I guess if you can't just categorically say shapeshifter, I'd probably go like centaur, or what were the creature, the aliens and animorphs called? Can I do that one? Because they were like centaurs, but with like big scorpion tails, right?
Yeah.
Those are dope. I don't know. That's probably
right. Good. Next one.
Yeah. Okay. I'll move it along.
All right. $4. There's a 99 cents from Luis Richardson. Sorry, I'm late. I was hosting a poetry open mic on Zoom. It's hard to choose, but I will go with Team Prez Josie. Congratulations on GRS. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hell,
And have
I
fun.
think that open mic sounds awesome.
Mic. I know.
Yeah,
I was about to
sounds
say, it's like, that sounds great.
I can appreciate that you all like poetry.
You literally rap though.
Yeah.
That is poetry.
Poetry.
Right?
No, you know the
It's
difference.
like, what are you saying?
Poetry with a beat is different. If somebody wants to
No,
add
it's
a
not.
beat to it, to my enjoyment, it is. I need it.
Okay, then we
Okay,
can do
fair
a
enough.
poetry open
Speaking
mic
of-
and put a beat in the background, and then there you
Yeah. There you
go.
go.
5 Canadian from Nilly Wilson. Jimmy won't eat soy sauce, but he'll eat cheese whiz, chocolate, and watermelon. He must be stopped. # Team Josie.
Agreed.
You got a point there.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. Yeah.
I just
It's
don't like
almost
soy
as if
sauce.
Jimmy's likes are all over the place and
They are.
kind
That's
of
true.
arbitrary. Yeah.
No, well, I mean, it's I would say more subjective than arbitrary. It doesn't go beyond the experience of I taste it, do I like it or not? Soy sauce I've at least tried many times, and like I can stand a bit of a teriyaki sauce, kind of, if it's not too strong in it. But there are some things that I'm like, nope, just the idea of it, fuck that. I will never try lobster. Disgusting. That people eat lobster is fucking insane. Y'all are eating cockroaches and you think that, and you make
Water
it
bugs.
fancy. Literally. Not even just water bugs. Bugs in your house eat better than bugs in the sea. They are bottom feeding, shit eating, disgusting creatures.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with eating land bugs either. So
Both are
this
gross.
argument doesn't really work for me.
Both are
The
gross.
bullet train scenario. Gross. All right, let's move on.
So just so everyone knows, I only have 2 more votes in here. That's going to bring the total to 41, which means if all we would need is 9 more $5 super chats with votes on them, and we're under 10. We can do this. Get it across the board. Obviously, don't anybody like sacrifice your last $5 or something. But some of
Yeah,
y'all that are
obviously.
like, this $5 I would have spent on a DoorDash fee. We're actually kind of doing you a solid by stopping you from doing
Yeah.
that.
You're saving more money that way, actually. All right.
Yeah.
For $4.99 from Claire. Not saying ranch would be bad, just unnecessary. Can people call me in about ranch/mayo? More spices could go on pizza, but ranch is mostly fat and salt. # Josie.
Love it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's
we're not
mostly
gonna-
fat
we're
and
not-
salt, but like, because you don't add like a tub of spices onto things when you're making a sauce. Like, you put a little bit of spice with the because it's a sauce, right? That's like definition of a sauce.
This ranch debate.
But-
This ranch debate is becoming
Yeah.
the new mayo, isn't it? All right.
It's like you don't like for real, like you don't have to do it and you don't have to like it. But it's funny, these people that don't like certain things in their food are so aggressive about like, wow, you shouldn't like that. That's gross. It's like, but
Yeah, that's
why
crazy.
do you care? Why
Right.
do you care
Right. The
about
idea of
me eating ranch?
this is something I get even mad with my own side on
Yeah.
things about when they yell, not even just about like food, but like things being funny or not, where it's literally like, hey guys, you
Yeah.
do know that funny is an entirely subjective thing. So if something is offensive, that's separate than saying that's not funny, because you're not going to win with somebody by telling them they suck because they found something funny. You need to explain to them why it's offensive, not change the category. I find this to be the same thing. People who are offended by other people's enjoyment of food are insane to me. Like, let them have pineapple on pizza. If that's what they want, let them have it. Let them, their life
know who I
obviously
see this-
sucks if that's what they like.
I
so
see
let
the
them have
worst. I see the worst from and I got legitimately angry with people from Chicago talking about like it's like you absolutely cannot have ketchup on a hot dog. Like, okay, like if you want to have Chicago style, yeah, like you don't put ketchup on a Chicago style hot dog. But to then say like, because that comes down to a culture thing, and you're saying that your culture is superior to other culture, and so that's where I'm like, maybe that's not a good argument to take, because like food
Sure.
culture is big for a lot of people, and like if you're insulting somebody's childhood memories of ketchup on a hot dog, at a baseball game with their family. It's like, do you really need to assert that Chicago's better than everybody else on this planet? Like, okay.
I swear, we've had more food debate than the actual trans conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing I will defend is categories of food just being allowed to be called anything. Chicago pizza style casserole, for some reason people call Chicago pizza. That's not pizza. Like, pizza should mean something, and your casserole ain't it. But I'll defend that. I'll defend pizza casserole. You want to call it pizza casserole? I'm on board. I'll probably even have a piece. I'm not going to call it a slice. You don't have slices of Chicago pizza. You have you have pieces of it.
Oh my gosh. All right, next super chat. I can't handle it. $4.99 from Nicholas. Hope you can both can ping pong in
Matt.
I don't know.
It's Matt. Wait, they're referring to Matt Walsh. And I don't get why we're censoring it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. You're doing this to mess with the dyslexic person. All right. Hashtag Venus.
That's hilarious.
It'd be
okay,
funny.
So that's funny.
Yeah, it'd be funny if we can end up both. And if we both have to respond to
we
the
are
same
gonna get there.
negative thread. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Everyone, get them in. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna send this one next. A little bit out of order because I have to make a declaration on it. So this one's 60 Canadian from Nilly Wilson. Whoever wants to read it, go ahead and read it.
I think it's Ben's read. I think.
60 Canadian from Nilly Wilson. I'll just confirm this. Hashtag team everyone posts on Twitter. Hashtag fuck Matt Walsh.
So
yeah.
I believe I said 3 votes for this is the equivalent of a $50 thing, but I'll give you the 4th and let it be that you were voting for both. So that takes Ben to 26 and Josie to 19. I think that's a fair distribution of points.
I think that's fair. Thank you so much for the 60
fair.
Canadian.
Yeah. Which means we have
thank you.
2 more votes after that, which will mean we're 3 away, I think. So we need at least 3 more votes after the 2 that we have left to hit that line of 50. So we need it.
Get him in.
Get him in.
$5 from James Call. I'm George Santos posting as Herschel Walker. I'd be a werewolf. Team Venus. I love it.
All the bits and jokes about
I know
Santos. Oh my god, it's almost one of those things where you're like, I'm disgusted that this could even happen, but my life is better that it happened because of the memes.
I mean, just think about it. The Republicans actually elected their first drag queen. I mean,
that's very progressive.
Yeah, very progressive of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really funny how they will accuse the right, or the right will accuse the left of only picking people to check boxes like diversity quotas and things like that. When these motherfuckers put Sarah Palin up for VP, it's like, if on our side, when it's the new Supreme Court justice is here's all of her qualifications, super qualified, maybe the most qualified there's ever been, and they're like, oh, they're just trying to meet the quota, as though we put Sarah Palin isn't qualified to run a marathon, let alone the country.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Anyway, sorry. I keep distracting. I got lots of things I want to get off my chest, and I'm trying to give time for people to get those last couple of super chats in.
Yeah, I see you.
$4.99 from Nicholas. Had bottom surgery 3 weeks ago, so I'll vote once for hashtag Team GRS. Hope I'm feeling as good as Josie in a few weeks. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Congrats. Absolutely. I'm very happy for you, and healing does happen. It happens. Even though it sucks so much right now, I can imagine, because I was just there. But yeah, you'll get through it. Healing happens.
All right, just for everybody watching, the next one doesn't have a vote on it. And it is currently our last super chat, which means we're still short. We're still short 3 votes. We still need those 3
votes.
$5 super chats. You need to get those in. So we can, and we got to do it now. It looks like 1 came in, so we're now short 2 votes. You got to get more in. Go ahead, whoever wants to read this one.
Okay, $5 from Hedonista 75 to pompously paraphrase. De gustibus non. This is terrible. Hedonista, why are you doing this to me? Gustibus non dispuntundum est IOW in matters of taste. There is no dispute. Smiley peace sign. I love you, Hedonista, but that was hard for me.
About
That's
halfway
awesome.
through, they retracted the message, not the super chat. They still sent the $5, but I feel like they might have felt bad at the struggle, and we're like, oh no, don't worry about it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, we're
it's
here
fun.
for the
I
struggle.
like it.
We are here for the struggle.
I'm here for the struggle. It's okay. If it makes you happy, I'm here for it.
You know I'm here for the struggle. I'm gonna turn it into a country song.
Oh, no.
Okay, here we go.
6969. Nice. From Robin Talstig. I eat pizza with banana, pineapple, and curry. # Josie. I would try that.
All right.
I'd try that.
I would not. But I appreciate the vote.
Yes, let's get the vote on
You're
the
so
board.
close. You're so close.
$4.99 from Nicholas, censoring Matt because he's ugh. # Team Venus for the win.
But we have a great Matt on this channel also, so we don't want to set a standard of censoring Matts. You know,
Just that Matt. Just the one Matt.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre that if I think about one of my the favorite people in the world and one of my least favorite people in the world, both categories contain Matts in them. Different Matts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Matts for sure. Okay, here's I need to put that up. All right, that gets us to 50. So now all the votes are just gravy. Or ranch, I suppose. But let's see who still comes out on top.
Yeah.
Maybe
$4.99.
whoever loses has to do a second one or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and maybe the person who wins gets to start the thread, right? And then the next one goes in, and then it goes. That's how it works. Yeah.
There we go. That works.
$4.99 from Bryn Poo KC. # Venus. Hell yeah.
Venus.
Venus.
We should do. Does it mean anything when I say the penis game? Do you know what I'm referring to? From like
I think
school?
I do.
From school years where
do.
somebody
Yeah.
You say
I
it,
had one of those ones.
It was quieter and quieter. You'd go penis, and basically one person says it and you're going around the table and you have to do it louder than the last person until somebody gets caught and gets in trouble. And you just start yelling. Somebody at some point's yelling, penis! Anyway, let's play the Venus game somewhere one day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too. All right. Here's some more.
$10 Canadian from Kathleen Moncrief. Moncrief. Thank you. I want to say that
it's
right.
French. Yeah,
throwing in another # Team Ben since I am also a family doctor. All right.
Hey, family medicine revolution. Hell yeah. We are going to change the world.
Does it blow anyone else's mind that our channel attracts doctors in the audience? Like that, what a high class level of audience we have. My goodness.
Yeah, a bunch of MDs in here.
What?
It's funny that like hearing people think doctors are like high class and special, and I'm like they're just like the people I'm around like every day, and like a lot of them are great and a lot of them are fucking awful.
That's how I feel about politicians.
They just exist to me. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, don't worry.
Yeah.
You have disillusioned me to the idea that that this is a superior group of people. I'm kidding. That was a joke. It was meant to sound mean.
No, we're actually not. Like we're literally just people. Like that's it.
With a lot of
Have
debt.
a high level skill.
With a lot of
High
debt
level skill.
and no work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this one's
$4.99
you.
from Nicholas. Yeah. Thanks for the encouragement. # Team Josie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
$10 Canadian from Kathleen Moncrief.
Moncrief.
Moncrief. There we go. And a # Team Josie just to keep it interesting. Oh, I like it.
I feel like Kathleen's going to jump in the chat and just be like, hey, Jimmy, you do know that your correction is also wrong, right? Like, I'm sitting here going like, it's Moncrief, like a French person, Moncrief. And she's going to be like, nah, dude, it's actually Moncrief. So.
Actually, Josie got it the first time.
$5 from Andy Placeres. # Team Ben, # Team Lobster Bisque is awesome. Hell yeah. Lobster Bisque is so
Tomato
good.
bisque is better. Tomato bisque.
They're all good.
Amazing.
Bisques are all good.
By the
Yeah,
way,
Soups are good.
I don't eat any seafood, by the way. It's not just lobsters.
Good call. The ocean is gross. It's very
so gross.
polluted.
It's not a part of my in my most carnivorous days, I didn't eat even out of the ocean.
I used to eat
yucky.
seaweed until I found out there was a lot of lead in it. So I was like, okay, I'm not eating that anymore.
I used to keep saltwater tanks. I had this huge 140-gallon one, and they're monsters, all of them. The cutest fish are still monsters, and you shouldn't name them. That's one that always came up. People were like, what are your clownfish's names? I was like, I'm not, what the fuck? Are you insane? Why would you name them?
They're your pets.
They're like, yeah, but you name it like a dog. But would you name your dog if you kept feeding your dog other smaller dogs? No, you would not.
I mean,
and that's what fish are. They eat. They're fucking monsters. They're disgusting people. Terrible people fish are. Anyway.
Is it me? $5 from James Call. I'd boink Sarah boink. Sorry, I'd boink Sarah Palin for or Bober. Call me weird. # Team Josie. You're weird.
It's not even necessarily weird that I'm going to call you. It's just more of a, when it comes down to individual people's names, James, you should probably just keep those sorts of things to yourself. Because I'm not above sleeping with a conservative. There's something that actually kind of excites me about sleeping with someone who hates me. Consensually, of course. Consensually sleeping with somebody where it's like, oh, we both hate each other. Are we doing this? That's an exciting idea, but I'm not going to start listing the names of my who I would and wouldn't.
I'd prefer the jackfruit. I'll take the jackfruit.
I'll take the jackfruit. Yeah.
Ben, you're on fire today.
That's a good one. That's a good bid.
Oh man. Also, I'd be worried about cutting my face or shoulders on Lauren Boebert's chin. The fuck is up with that thing? Sorry, that was mean of me. Moving on.
10 Canadian from Kathleen. I'm gonna say, we just gotta say it like a different way every single time until maybe we get it right. It's from Kathleen Moncrief. # Team whoever likes pickled beets the most. My personal favorite snack when I just cleaned a bunch of juice from off my fridge shelf.
Do either of you like pickled beets?
I like
salads.
most food. I like them. Yeah, they're good.
Do either of you ever crave them? Do you ever think, today I want something with some beets in it?
Never crave them.
Well, pickled beets are good. Yeah, I crave pickled things in general sometimes.
Right. On the count of 3, both of you get your hands ready with 10 digits, 10 fingers. Put them below frame. On the count of 3, you're going to raise them up with the number on a scale of 1 to 10 that you would put pickled beets, and you have to be honest. This is honor. This is we're doing the what is it? The honor code.
Pickled beets.
So yeah. So like if on how much you like them on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay.
And you're gonna put up your hands at the same time on 3.
Okay.
You're gonna put them up, and whoever has the higher number. But again, you have to be honest about it.
This is a good skill. This is a good skill. Yeah. I like this.
Okay.
This is all right.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there's such a delay.
5.
Okay, I think Ben wins that one.
Yeah.
This really tells me how long the delay is between us. That was painful.
Yeah.
And Kathleen did said it's technically Scottish mixed with French, and I usually either say Moncrief or Moncrief. Let's see. That's great. That's great. I'm trying to do a bit of Scottish. Moncrief. I don't know. That's as good as I could do.
There you go.
That just went back to French again.
No, she said it's Scottish French. Moncrief.
Yeah.
You just yell it.
There you go.
You just yell it while drunk. You just yell it while drunk, and that's what Scottish is. Anyway, the combined final score, 57 points. Both of these people will now be doing a thread together talking about the thing they like about @MattWalshBlog. Check that out on Twitter. We'll try and remember to get a screen grab of it and present it on a future show.
So
how it went.
It's what? Say the word again. What's the first word?
The thing I really like about @MattWalshBlog.
The thing I really like about.
Or how about actually, the thing I actually like about. That way it sounds like you might actually be about to try and devil's advocate.
Okay, so here's the question, right? So who's going to start the thread? Is it the loser or the winner?
I think the loser.
I guess.
It would make more sense for the loser to start it.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to think there's probably going to be a lot of engagement because I expect everybody in this chat to also join in the game. I mean, this is how it goes, so we can make a mega thread. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Okay, by the way,
I love this.
Please, anybody who is currently watching, go and follow. Ben, what's your handle on Twitter?
@StudentDocBen.
And Josie, what's your Twitter?
It is exactly what I just put in chat. Josie Rose C.
@JosieRoseC. Please go follow them. And then in response to the threads, when you're not retweeting, just reply, wait, Matt Walsh, ? Isn't that the guy who eats poop? ? Which is another meme, another Matt Walsh meme that originates on this channel. And so please ask whether or not they're referring to the Matt Walsh who eats poop. This is going to be a fun evening, and I'm looking forward to it. You two, make sure you two link up on Twitter and coordinate this thing.
So Ben, are you going to put it or am I going to do it? I don't mind either way. Since I lost, I think I'm going to start it. Okay, that makes
you're going to start it, and I'm going to I'll
all right, follow me on Twitter too. I don't know if for sure.
Okay, I already.
All right.
Oh, there we go. I'm following.
This is going to be a fun night.
It's gonna be so great. All right, where are you, Dr. Student Ben? There you go. Now I'm following you back.
Why don't you two say goodbye, and we'll get this night wrapped up.
I'll get on Twitter right now.
Thank you everybody for watching the show. We'll see you all next week, and go stay tuned for the Twitter stuff that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
So I'm putting the thing I actually like about Matt Walsh, right? Oh my God.
Yes. You got to finish it. You have to tag Matt Walsh too, @MattWalshBlog, I think it's called.
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay,
I'm going to for sure.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Here we go. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everyone.